Chapter 1761. Trapped by love, Ling Yu resolutely embarked on the path of bitter cultivation. Since Xiao Chen did so because of love, he also embarked on a similar path. As long as there was hope, he could not give up. Ling Yu looked at the somewhat melancholic Xiao Chen. "Martial uncle, did something happen to you in the Soaring Dragon Great Realm? I feel that you have changed somewhat." "What changed? I can't tell what exactly has changed. However, Martial Uncle has indeed changed. In the past, Martial Uncle's face always remained calm, no changes in his expression could be seen. Although it is still like that now, I can tell that there is a lingering sense of loss lingering on your face. Most importantly, Martial Uncle purposely left this sense of loss behind. Given Martial Uncle's mental state, you should be able to cut it off at any time. However, Martial Uncle did not. This means that the person related to this sense of loss is exceptionally important to Martial Uncle. Even if it already affected your mental state, you are unwilling to cut it off, letting it linger in your heart, never dispersing. As the saying goes, one does not know where love comes from, but one is deeply devoted to it. Martial Uncle, you should be careful." Xiao Chen felt stunned when he heard that. Unexpectedly, after not seeing Ling Yu for 1 year, his observation skills had become so meticulous. Or was it as Ling Yu said? "Did I take a picture?" Xiao Chen smiled faintly and did not deny Ling Yu's words. Ling Yu smiled and said, "It looks like I was right. So what if you are right and so what if you are wrong? Just worry about yourself. Although bitter cultivation can quickly raise your strength, if you overexert yourself and injure yourself, the losses outweigh the gains." Xiao Chen warned. Few people chose the path of bitter cultivation. Firstly, it was too painful and unbearable. Secondly, the risk was too high and it was easy to injure oneself. Ling Yu's stubbornness inevitably worried Xiao Chen. He did not know how to face senior brother Yi in the future. Ling Yu smiled and said, "Martial Uncle, don't worry about me. I won't die." "I hope so." Xiao Chen sighed softly. Ling Yu had no choice but to make his own choices. After not seeing each other for more than a year, the two chatted happily. Ling Yu also told Xiao Chen about some of his confusion on the martial Dao without holding back. Xiao Chen patiently answered and explained. Unknowingly, the afterglow of the setting sun had completely descended. A loud shout broke this rare silence. "White-robed Xiao Chen, come out. I know you're back." Ling Yu's expression changed slightly as he looked at Xiao Chen. "It's Shangguan Lei." The voice came from the greeting of Swords Edges. The greeting of Swords Edges was where the face of the sect was. Xiao Chen had been there once, so he knew what kind of place it was. There were all kinds of sects there. Ever since Xiao Chen defeated Shangguan Lei in the fiendish demon battlefield, very few people in the Divine Firmament sect dared to appear at the Purple Flame sect's greeting of Swords Edges. This time, after Shangguan Lei found out that Xiao Chen had returned, he came to take revenge. After some thought, Xiao Chen understood the reason behind it. "Martial Uncle, I heard that this Shangguan Lei put in a lot of effort to obtain a Dao tool to defeat you. He has been cultivating like a madman and has been waiting for you to come back. He came prepared." Ling Yu said cautiously. After all, Xiao Chen had not broken through to Star Venerate yet. Ling Yu did not know Xiao Chen's true strength, so he could not help worrying. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just as the two decided to go out and take a look, Shangguan Lei's figure suddenly appeared on the courtyard wall. "Shangguan Lei, all the grudges between the sect disciples have to be resolved at the greeting of Swords Edges. Are you trying to start a war between the Divine Firmament sect and the Purple Flame sect?" Below, Hua Yunfeng and the other true inheritors quickly followed, showing some rage on their faces. Several elders also appeared in the dark, locking their auras on Shangguan Lei. Forcibly barging in like Shangguan Lei had already broken the rules of the sect. If not for Xiao Chen's status and strength, someone would have taken him down long ago. Shangguan Lei said seriously, "Hua Yunfeng, don't be wishy-washy like a woman. As long as Shao Chen is willing to fight with me, I will personally apologize. After this, I will personally apologize. Can't you tell if I want to start a war between the sects or not? Indeed, everyone could tell that Shangguanlei was here purely for Shao Chen. If not for this reason, the sect elders would have worked together to chase him out long ago. Shao Chen, if you are not willing to fight with him, we can chase him away now. The voice projections of the sect elders appeared in Shao Chen's mind. Clearly, these sect elders were very respectful to Shao Chen, speaking very politely to him. There's no need to chase him away, Shao Chen replied. Then, he indicated to Shangguanlei, think carefully before you make your move. You only have one chance. When Shangguanlei heard that, he could not help laughing loudly. How arrogant! 1 year ago, if you held a Dao tool, how could you defeat me? 1 year later, I advanced to Star Venerate and grasped a Dao tool. Even if I gave you 3 moves, you would not be able to defeat me. Shao Chen said slowly, many things can change in 1 year. Cut the crap. Stop putting on an act. This old man will defeat you with 1 saber strike. Right after Shangguanlei said those words, he roared and attacked in a fit of rage. When Shangguanlei's saber landed, 9 thunderous explosions rang out. The Dao tool in his hand trembled 9 times in the air at a speed that was hard to detect with the naked eye. With each tremble, the thunder might from the previous tremble would layer on top of each other. Shangguanlei's aura was already terrifyingly strong. Dark clouds covered the sky and lightning flashed, encasing the area for 5 kilometers around. When Shangguanlei leaped down, he looked like a raging heavenly lord of thunder. A terrifying figure appeared behind him. The saber light in Shangguanlei's hand was 300 meters long. When the saber light landed, an overwhelming shock wave swept out in all directions. Caught off guard, this shock wave immediately knocked many purple flame sect disciples into the air. The divine firmament 9 changes layered 9 times. He really succeeded. I recall that many elders in the divine firmament sect can only layer 8 times. To think that he actually managed to layer 9 times. The moment Shangguanlei executed this move, countless elders exclaimed in regret. It would have been better if they had gotten Shao Chen to come out and receive this move, forcing Shangguanlei to leave as soon as possible. If Shao Chen lost, the prestige that he had accumulated for the Purple Flame sect would vanish like smoke. If that happened, the prestige that Shangguanlei had accumulated for the Purple Flame sect would vanish like smoke, vanishing completely. Instead, it would allow Shangguanlei to rise to a higher level. Even the Divine Firmament sect's prestige would suppress the Purple Flame sect. However, just as everyone worried for Shao Chen, the space in the courtyard suddenly froze. Even the dust stopped moving. Shao Chen stretched out 2 fingers and caught Shangguanlei's saber in the time it took for a spark to fly. Just like that, Shao Chen caught the saber with 2 simple fingers. How can this be? Many exclamations rang out at the same time, their eyes filled with incredulity. Hua Yunfeng was somewhat flabbergasted, gaping. He was not that worried about Shao Chen. He believed that Shao Chen definitely had a fortuitous encounter and absolutely would not lose to Shangguanlei. However, Hua Yunfeng did not expect that Shao Chen would use 2 fingers to catch Shangguanlei's saber, preventing him from moving or retreating. This, Shangguanlei was utterly stunned. He brought out his full power but could not advance by even an inch, much less draw his saber. Dang! Shao Chen waved his 2 fingers, and the saber in Shangguanlei's hand trembled. A strong force rebounded. The saber immediately twisted like a water snake. The force traveled to Shangguanlei's arm, breaking every bone in his body. The force spread to half his body before Shangguanlei managed to block it. However, Shangguanlei was already sent flying, crashing into the courtyard wall and vomiting a large mouthful of blood. Even standing up was somewhat difficult for Shangguanlei. You! Shangguanlei pointed at Shao Chen. However, he could not say anything, feeling pent up in his chest. Shangguanlei was startled and flustered. All sorts of emotions welled up in his mind. He felt stifled in his chest, unable to go up or down. His chi and blood surged and his eyes widened. His face turned even redder, looking like an inflated ball that would explode at any moment. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. Then, he flicked his finger, and a strand of saber chi struck an acupoint on Shangguan Lei's chest. Pu ci. Shangguan Lei vomited another mouthful of blood, and the surging chi and blood on his face quickly receded. Xiao Chen could already tell that something had gone wrong with Shangguan Lei's cultivation. Shangguan Lei only pursued strength and tyranny. This resulted in many hidden dangers in his body. If there were any setbacks, he would enter berserking chi deviation and self-destruct. This was the principle of being too firm and easy to break. Back then, Yi Zifeng had said that the master and disciple had comprehended the wrong state of the tyrannical Tao. The divine firmament sect's Shangguan Lei is not skilled enough. Men, send off the guest. An elder of the Purple Flame sect stepped forward expressionlessly, not showing any pity for Shangguan Lei. The words, not skilled enough, were rather mocking. Chapter 1762. Shangguan Lei was carried away in a sorry state. This farce ended here. The Purple Flame sect elders hiding in the dark all revealed themselves, revealing smiles as they arrived before Xiao Chen. This time, Shangguan Lei lost. Xiao Chen used 2 fingers to catch the Divine Firmament sect's consummate technique, the Divine Firmament 9 changes. The sharpness of the Purple Flame sect was completely suppressed. Most importantly, the elders could tell that Shangguan Lei's foundation was unstable. From today onward, the Purple Flame sect no longer had to worry about a strong opponent like Shangguan Lei. Furthermore, all this was due to Xiao Chen's efforts, first and second. Naturally, these sect elders were grateful to Xiao Chen for helping out, promising him all sorts of benefits on the spot. Some were even more direct, asking Xiao Chen if he wanted to stay in the sect and hold a post. Xiao Chen responded calmly, politely rejecting all sorts of benefits. Martial Uncle Xiao, won't you reconsider? You can even be a guest official. I believe the sect master will agree. The few old men took the sect rules very seriously, addressing Xiao Chen as Martial Uncle Xiao. They did not dare to mess up seniority. Many thanks. I will be leaving in another month. I still have important matters to attend to. That is a pity. Seeing Xiao Chen like this, the elders did not press the issue. They performed cupped fist salutes and took their leave. After the crowd left, Ling Yu exclaimed excitedly, "Martial Uncle, how did you do it? You caught Shangguan Lei's saber with 2 fingers." The scene just now had caused a great shock and impact to many people. However, only Ling Yu dared to put down his pride and ask without any fear. Divine Firmament 9 changes, a Dao tool, and a berserk Shangguan Lei. Yet, Xiao Chen caught such a ferocious and tyrannical saber strike with only 2 fingers. This was simply unrealistic, like a dream. Do you want to learn? Xiao Chen asked with a smile. What? This startled Ling Yu. Then, he exclaimed in pleasant surprise, "Yes, naturally. Martial Uncle is willing to teach me?" Xiao Chen smiled faintly and said, "I am your martial uncle in name, after all. Teaching you some secret techniques is nothing." "Thank you, martial uncle." Ling Yu expressed his gratitude solemnly, nearly kneeling to Xiao Chen with a respectful expression. Xiao Chen waved his hand, indicating that he didn't have to be so courteous and care about etiquette. This secret skill is called the telepathic finger. You definitely won't be able to learn it in a short time. I will first teach you the initial version of the telepathic finger. After that, I will tell you the subsequent variations. There were 2 versions of the telepathic finger, and it had gone through many changes to achieve its current effect. Xiao Chen definitely could not succeed in one go. First, he told Ling Yu about the cultivation method that the Flame Rock Sovereign once told him, letting Ling Yu comprehend it on his own. A few days later, when Ling Yu more or less understood the profoundness, Xiao Chen taught Ling Yu the secrets and profoundness of using one's body as a cauldron. Later on, whether or not Ling Yu could gain a comprehensive understanding and comprehend it thoroughly would depend on his own luck. Given Ling Yu's talent, Xiao Chen felt that it should not be a problem. As for Xiao Chen, he did not fall behind in his cultivation, either. Right now, he had two cultivation techniques that he needed to cultivate: the Ice Feather Divine Incantation and the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art. Back in Dragon Flame City, Xiao Chen had already cultivated the Ice Feather Divine Incantation to the peak of the third layer. Inside the cultivation room, Xiao Chen inserted medial-grade spirit jades into the spirit-gathering formation. Then, he started cultivating the Ice Feather Divine Incantation. The cold qi in the room condensed into thin ice that looked like feathers dancing around, looking very pretty. After circulating a great cycle, snow-like spiritual energy continuously poured into the white qi whirlpool in Xiao Chen's dantian. After that, the qi whirlpool turned it into veritable essence energy and infused it into the 9-star primal core. Xiao Chen opened his eyes and entered deep thought. The Ice Feather Divine Incantation had reached a bottleneck. The white qi whirlpool had not grown for a long time already. Xiao Chen had to break through to the fourth layer. However, this Ice Feather Divine Incantation had a total of 6 layers. The later 3 layers were more important and harder to cultivate. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen decided to break through to the Ice Feather Divine Incantation's 4th layer after he broke through to the Cloud Sea realm. That would be safer. During this period, he would focus on the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art. Xiao Chen opened his palm and looked at the jade bottle in his palm. Dragon Blood Pill. This was one of the treasures of the dragon race that Xiao Chen obtained in the underground dragon city. It was refined from genuine ancient dragon blood. Every time he used one, there would be one less. Pure dragon blood was simply too difficult to obtain. According to rumor, the current dragon blood pills were refined from the true blood of the dragon race's upper echelon. Compared to true pure dragon blood pills, the effects would be slightly weaker. Opening the bottle cap, Xiao Chen consumed a dragon blood pill. Then, he sat down cross-legged and started cultivating the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art. He had already completed the first layer, tempering his muscles, and the second layer, tempering his bones. Now, he needed to cultivate the third layer, tempering his blood. Vital qi came from the blood. This third layer was also the start of the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art's main event. Soon, dragon roars came from Xiao Chen's body. 18 ancient blue dragon images appeared. They coiled around Xiao Chen, surrounding him. An ancient and savage aura spread throughout the cultivation room. It was like he had returned to the great desolate Aeon, when the 10,000 races fought. Xiao Chen felt his qi and blood surge. It was like the floodgates opened and boundless essence energy poured out. At this moment, not only did his vital qi soar, but Xiao Chen also felt his ice and lightning veritable essence energy being refined by the ancient energy surging out of his blood. The ancient energy surging out from his blood continuously refined it. The ancient dragon might was carved into the depths of his quintessence, as if it was inseparable from his flesh and blood. From today onward, Xiao Chen would not need to deliberately bring out dragon might. His veritable essence energy would give off boundless dragon might, deeply imprinted in his bones and soul. Dang, dang, dang. The most important change came from his vital qi. Many ancient dragon pattern cauldrons appeared above his head. As his vital qi soared, there were now 15 dragon cauldrons. This dragon blood pill allowed Xiao Chen's vital qi to soar by 5 cauldron force, reaching an unprecedented 15 cauldron force. Every dragon cauldron was different from the ones before. They were exquisitely carved and glowed faintly. The carved dragon patterns looked like they were coming to life, looking very realistic. Xiao Chen, who was immersed in the increase in his strength, felt somewhat surprised. He had not expected this dragon blood pill to be so effective. This was something he had not experienced in the underground dragon city back then. More importantly, the ancient energy from his bloodline reshaped Xiao Chen's veritable essence, energy and vital qi. This was the greatest benefit. It was much better than directly increasing one's vital qi and cultivation. After more than half a month, Xiao Chen completely digested and absorbed the energy of this dragon blood pill. Crack! Crack! The vital qi in Xiao Chen's body surged in his dragon veins. His blood surged and his dragon bones crackled. His dragon might spread out uncontrollably. Many dragon images lingered in the surroundings, looking like they were sighing with their eyes closed and roaring softly at the same time. When Xiao Chen opened his eyes, they flickered with a golden light. His great desolate divine eyes had improved further. At this moment, the dragon images lingering in the surroundings also opened their eyes at the same time. Boom! The entire cultivation room could not endure this dragon might. The formation shattered and the room crumbled. When the dust settled, Xiao Chen's true body was revealed. "Martial uncle, this is a little too grand," Ling Yu exclaimed in shock as he walked out of the room. This made Xiao Chen feel somewhat embarrassed. The effects of the dragon blood pill had somewhat surpassed his expectations. After stepping out of the rubble, Xiao Chen looked at Ling Yu and said, "Come, let me see how your cultivation of the sharp spirit finger is going." 1 hour later, Xiao Chen revealed a gratified smile. Not bad. The effects of the dragon blood pill surpassed his expectations. After 1 hour, Xiao Chen revealed a gratified smile. Not bad. You improved so much in half a month. You surprised me as well. Ling Yu felt excited in his heart. However, after a while, he asked somewhat disappointedly, "Martial uncle, are we really leaving?" Xiao Chen nodded and said, "All good things must come to an end. We are fated. I believe that we will definitely meet again in the future. Martial uncle, take care." Ling Yu could not bear to part with Xiao Chen, but he also knew that Xiao Chen had to leave. Just like him, he had his own pursuits in his heart. Based on his martial uncle's judgment, with Xiao Chen's insight, Xiao Chen's pursuit was probably even more difficult than Ling Yu's. Xiao Chen nodded slightly. Then, he took out a dragon blood pill and handed it to Ling Yu. "Take care." Xiao Chen did not expect the dragon blood pill to bring Ling Yu the same changes he did. However, it would definitely be of help. The main reason why Xiao Chen could benefit so much from the dragon blood pill was because of his ancient and noble bloodline. The dragon blood pill only stimulated his bloodline and unearthed the vast treasure trove of bloodline power. Even if another dragon race disciple consumed the dragon blood pill, the effects might not be as strong. After leaving the Purple Flame sect, Xiao Chen did not immediately go to the Black Cutlass. Instead, he headed for the blessed land of the Patala Mountain. He needed to tell the Venerable Xian Bei about Zhen Yuan. No matter what, the Venerable Xian Bei had saved Xiao Chen's life before. Among the Buddhist sect monks that Xiao Chen interacted with, the Venerable Xian Bei was rather trustworthy. Chapter 1763. Xiao Chen's heart skipped a beat. He felt that something was wrong. Although that lightning palace cracked, it showed no signs of crumbling. Every pillar of water looked like a huge dragon coming out of the sea. In that instant, they blocked the tyrannical aura of the lightning palace that suppressed everything. No wonder the divine firmament sect felt that they could kill me by sending just one person. Xiao Chen closed his eyes as he stood on the surface of the sea, the waves bouncing up and down. Xiao Chen turned his head back and saw that person behind him bathed in electric light. So, this was how the will of soul could be used. This was truly an eye-opener. Clearly, this person had come prepared and prepared many spirit pills, not being stingy when consuming them. From the outside, this black cave mountain looked like it was shrouded in boundless fog above the vast sea. Xiao Chen did not want to fight a pointless battle. He silently executed his movement technique, and a faint purple flame burned on his body. Then, he quickly flew over the sea like a ghost. Die! Above the waves, the two gave off terrifying auras. Shao Chun stretched out his hand and he drew the tyrant saber. A swastika appeared on his forehead. A Buddhist light spread out from Shao Chun's body. He instantly executed, resolving the mundane. Then, an eternal and inextinguishable saber light appeared. How strong! Someone is following me? The moment Shao Chun left the black cave mountain, he sensed something strange. There was an indistinct, hidden killing chi that was extremely hard to detect. The only thing he lacked was the use of the will of soul. However, Shao Chun had been at this cultivation realm for at least 100 years. Furthermore, he was a rank 4 sect elder with deep accumulations. The 3 blessed lands of the Grave Sea, the heavenly shaking mountain, the black cave mountain, and the Patala mountain, were not too far from each other. Explosions and the sound of his surging bloodline merged together, instantly pushing Shao Chun's aura to its peak. Boundless thunderclouds quickly spread in the sky above, pressing towards Shao Chun. However, they had lost to Shao Chun twice, each time more embarrassing than the last. To a rank 4 sect, such a humiliating result was simply unacceptable. The old man was dressed in the Divine Firmament chapter elder attire. His expression was cold, and the domineering lightning might in his eyes seemed corporeal as he looked at Shao Chun and shouted coldly. Seeing that Shao Chun had increased his speed, the person who had been hiding revealed himself and quickly chased after him. Hence, the 3 blessed lands wore a thin veil in the Grave Sea, appearing very mysterious. It was indeed someone from the Divine Firmament chapter, the old man said coldly. With a wave of his hand, countless bolts of lightning gathered. Thunder clouds churned in the sky, and all sorts of mysterious phenomena were hidden within. Shao Chun was secretly accumulating power, quietly waiting for the enemy to come. The rumbling continued as towering waves rose on the surface of the sea. Those who had experienced it would naturally not have such a feeling. The Thunder Palace pressed down once more, and Shao Chun felt an immense pressure once more. This was a huge blow to the Divine Firmament chapter. Not only did Shao Chun cause the Divine Firmament sect's many resources to go to waste, but he also ruthlessly slapped the Divine Firmament sect in the face. Shao Chun did not open his eyes. His expression was calm, without any ripples. Saber. However, if a cultivator did not ride a special Dao tool, an oceanic spirit beast, or a transportation formation, relying on their own speed, the Thunder Palace would not have shattered completely. That's not right. It is not completely shattered yet. Shao Chun's heart sank. The person who came was a horrifying late-stage star venerate at the very least. Who exactly was it? No wonder. So, that is the case. It is extraordinary. However, just as Shao Chun was about to make another move, a saber light suddenly descended from the sky. That palace was made of pure lightning attributed veritable essence energy. It contained the will of soul and the thunder domain of the old man. After thinking about it, Shao Chun concluded that it could only be the Divine Firmament sect. Shao Chun had defeated Shangguan Lei's arrogance several times. The Divine Firmament sect had spent a lot of resources on Shangguan Lei and even secretly promoted him, turning him into the spiritual symbol of the Divine Firmament sect's younger generation. Shao Chun thought to himself, oh no. The Divine Firmament sect's movement technique was famous for its explosive power. However, the old man was greatly startled. He simply had not expected Shao Chun's veritable essence energy and will of soul to be so strong. That saber light appeared without any warning, instantly chopping the old man in half. He could not resist at all. The old man revealed a surprised expression. After being stunned for a while, he said, "Your strength is really startling. However, you are not a star venerate in the end. Even if you have the will of soul, you cannot use it like I do." Every sound kicked up a huge wave. Thousands of pillars of water shot up on the surface of the sea at the same time. After chopping the descending palace in half, the electric light scattered, leaving behind a flickering mark. Only the silhouette of a mountain range could be seen. For example, before Xiao Chen entered, he had been filled with curiosity and awe. With one saber strike, he chopped that lightning palace in half. The thunderclouds are already here. Senior's thunder domain has already caught up. There is no point in running. Even the might of resolving the mundane increased explosively. The countless churning mysterious phenomena hidden in the dense thunderclouds in the sky gathered into an ancient lightning palace, pressing down on Xiao Chen. Since the other party was prepared to make a move, he definitely had complete confidence. You are rather sensible. I believe you know why I am here. Sometimes, when working for others, it is easy to be used. Don't blame this old man for bullying the weak. If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for helping the Purple Flame sect. Brat, why are you not running anymore? Xiao Chen was not much weaker than Xiao Chen. Whoosh. Trying to flee. How can it be that easy? Boom. If not for that dragon blood pill digging out the ancient energy in the blue dragon bloodline, Xiao Chen would have already reconstructed his veritable essence, energy, and vital qi. Reconstructing his veritable essence, energy, and vital qi. Just this move alone might take his life. Damn it. A bolt of lightning flashed, and an aura sealed off Xiao Chen's surroundings. Following that, thunder roared for 5,000 kilometers around, causing the thunderclouds to churn endlessly. Xiao Chen sighed softly and stopped running. Whoosh! Xiao Chen felt very satisfied. The reconstructed veritable essence energy was indeed extraordinary. The core of this lightning palace was the old man's will of soul, which he had tempered several times. As long as his will of soul was not destroyed, this move could not break it. Xiao Chen punched, and 15 azure glassy ancient dragon cauldrons appeared above his head. They clashed with each other, producing loud sound. Rumble. Will of soul. Just as the ancient lightning palace was about to descend, Xiao Chen suddenly opened his eyes. The palace gave off an ancient and heavy aura. This palace must be an imitation of Xiao Chen's original body, a building from the ancient era. The old man did not underestimate Xiao Chen at all. The moment he made his move, he used his trump card. For many years, he had been trying to portray Xiao Chen as unrivaled and tyrannical among his peers. The two wills of soul clashed, erupting with a terrifying energy shock wave. Xiao Chen and that old man both got knocked back. Break! Break! Xiao Chen did not stop moving. The will of soul that belonged to him instantly shot out from his sea of consciousness. After leaving the Purple Flame sect, Xiao Chen left the Black Cave Mountain in only half a day. Half a day later, Xiao Chen looked at the sky above him, which was already covered in thunderclouds. Then, he looked at the blessed lands of the Grave Sea. They were only SOSO. Xiao Chen felt startled in his heart. This old man's cultivation was not very high, only about peak early stage star venerate. In Dragon Flame City, this old man had challenged many people and experienced even greater things. No matter what, this old man had not seen through Yun Hai's tranquility, so there was still a gap between them. However, the old man behind did not care about the exhaustion of veritable essence energy. Xiao Chen's speed was not slow, comparable to that of star venerates who did not cultivate special movement technique. He needed only 4 days to enter the Patala Mountain blessed land. The stalker might be a star venerate with deep accumulations. Xiao Chen moved as fast as lightning, kicking up towering waves. In an instant, he traveled 50 kilometers. This was because the price of failure would be extremely high. Now that Xiao Chen had entered and exited the Blessed Lands several times, no one among the youths of the 3 Blessed Lands was a match for him. With one punch, Xiao Chen detonated 15 cauldron force, causing the entire sea to sink. However, that was all there was to it. Xiao Chen's strength was not sufficient. Xiao Chen executed the fish dragon art to its limits, sticking close to the sea like a fish in water. Then, he went with the surging waves, continuously pulling away. He still needed at least 7 or 8 days. Even ordinary disciples could not endure it, What more Shangguan Lei, who had spent a lot of resources on it. A brilliant light flickered in Shangguan Lei's eyes, and the 206 dragon bones on his body gave off explosive sounds. I clearly do not have enough strength anymore. Why can't I break it? Who would be willing to do so much? A horrifying saber might spread out in all directions. Xiao Chen did not say anything, continuing to rush over the sea. He gently pushed off with his feet, moving very fast. If one was not a disciple of the Black Cave Mountain, it would be very difficult for others to pass through the thick fog and enter the blessed land. Xiao Chen moved like lightning, flickering with electric light as if he was teleporting. This was the will of soul of the old man. This was not an existence that newly advanced star venerates or regular star venerates could deal with. In the time it took for a spark to fly, the old man threw a fist light. Cracks appeared in the palace that the old man thought he could kill and suppress Xiao Chen. However, Xiao Chen did not panic. His eyes lit up as he revealed an expression of understanding. This was unbearable. Chapter 1764. Is it Senior Thunder Saber Xiang Tian? Under heavy pressure, Xiao Chen shouted. Xiao! The boundless lightning dissipated, revealing a person floating high up in the sky. It was the Thunderblade Xiang Tian. He was the one who had attacked and killed the old man who had been chasing him. Xiao Chen was stunned. He did not expect it to be him. You're really smart. How did you guess it was me? In this vicinity, there is only one person who can brew the Thunder Dao's Dao might and use such exquisite saber technique. However, I wonder if Senior is here to kill me or to save me. Xiao Chen stared at the other party. He was cautious and did not let down his guard. Naturally, I'm not here to kill you. If I wanted to kill you, I could have done it the day Yi Zifeng left. It was just that this bunch of fools from the sect seemed to think that Yi Zifeng would never return after leaving. Do you think that you can hide it from everyone by acting in such a hurry? Thunderblade Xiang Tian said in a deep voice. After I return to the sect, I will punish everyone involved. Can we put an end to today's matter and write it off? Senior, you're too polite. Xiao Chen glanced at the Thunderblade Xiang Tian and felt that this person had some spirit. He was straightforward and magnanimous. I'm not being polite. I'm just worried about Yi Zifeng. If it weren't for Yi Zifeng, the first person to kill you would have been me. Whoosh! Right after Xiao Chen spoke, the Thunder Saber Xiang Tian quickly left. The sea regained its calm as if nothing had happened. Who would have thought that the assassination would end like this? To be honest, Xiao Chen hadn't fought to his heart's content yet. It just so happened that he needed an evenly matched opponent to see where his limits were, and the old man chasing after him was obviously one of them. However, the fight just now also made Xiao Chen a little more confident. Even the Star Venerate elders of rank 4 sects with deep accumulations could not do anything to him. Even if Xiao Chen did not advance to Star Venerate, he still possessed the strength to fight a Star Venerate. Not in a hurry to leave, Xiao Chen closed his eyes and carefully experienced the killing move of the old man, Thunder Lightning Palace. This was the first time he had seen the will of the soul fused into a killer move. Was that so? Xiao Chen activated the will of soul in his soul pool and infused it into his surroundings, ready to fire. Then, he slowly spread out his saber intent, merging it with the world and the will of souls. Buzz buzz buzz. Suddenly, a continuous stream of saber hums appeared out of nowhere in all directions. In the next moment, Xiao Chen opened his eyes and flicked his finger. Hua! Xiao Chen condensed the countless saber intents containing the will of souls into one, turning them into a resplendent saber chi. As the saber light flashed, the entire world instantly turned dark. The space between the heavens and earth turned black and white. Only that saber light was resplendent and dazzling, clearly visible. However, the saber chi only lasted for less than 1,000th of a second before it disappeared. Xiao Chen revealed a look of joy on his face. So that was the case. It was exactly as he had imagined. Although it didn't even last for an instant, It meant that Xiao Chen was heading in the right direction. As long as he headed in the right direction, truly merging the will of souls with the saber intent was just a matter of time. The earlier saber strike made Xiao Chen vaguely think of the Kunlun realm's Yellow Springs land. The saber light that the Qing Emperor once left behind. Could it be that the Kunlun realm's Qing Emperor already possessed the strength of a star venerate? This was truly inconceivable. Xiao Chen shook his head, finding this idea ridiculous. The Qing Emperor should have used some other method to achieve that effect. On the other side, the thunder saber Xiang Tian, who had not gone far, felt the saber light that disappeared in a flash. His expression froze for a long time before he came back to his senses. This comprehension ability is really startling. I even somewhat wavered in my earlier decision. A murderous intent flashed in Xiang Tian's eyes. After thinking about it, he concluded that such a person would not remain in the Purple Flame sect for long. He would go to the Central Great Realm sooner or later. With his strength, even if he did not cause trouble, he would run into trouble sooner or later. The Thunder Saber Xiang Tian withdrew his murderous intent. Then, he shook his head and continued flying towards the Divine Firmament sect. When Xiang Tian thought of the Divine Firmament sect's sect master, his face could not help sinking. To think that the Divine Firmament sect's sect master dared to hide such an important decision from me. He probably forgot how horrifying Yi Zifeng was in the past. At the thought of Yi Zifeng, some hidden shadows in Xiang Tian's heart could not help resurfacing. That was a truly ruthless person. My two senior brothers are indeed the same kind of people. 3 days later, Xiao Chen arrived at the Potala Mountain Blessed Land. A dense fog spread over the sea. A faint Buddhist light shone through the dense fog, illuminating the surroundings. At every moment, there would be believers rushing over from the nearby islands in the sea. These believers worshipped this miraculous scene and prayed piously. After Xiao Chen stated his identity, the expression of the person in charge of welcoming guests at the periphery of the Potala Mountain changed slightly. "You are benefactor Xiao Chen?" "Yes, I am. I have heard of your reputation. However, if you want to meet the Venerable Xianbei, you still have to follow the rules and notify him. The Venerable Xianbei has already been in closed-door cultivation for a long time and is not receiving guests." "That's fine." Xiao Chen remained calm. He believed that Xianbei would definitely come to meet him. Sure enough, after a quarter of an hour, the monk walked in with a smile on his face. "Benefactor Xiao is indeed extraordinary. I'll lead the way for you." With a faint smile, Xiao Chen stood up and followed the monk into the Potala Mountain. The journey was rugged and took a long time. However, Xiao Chen enjoyed the scenery of the Buddhist blessed land along the way, so it was not too boring. Occasionally, Xiao Chen saw some monks exchanging moves with each other. This gave him a deeper understanding of the Buddhist sect's martial technique. "We have arrived. Benefactor Xiao, please enter." The monk pushed open the door to a quiet room and gestured for Xiao Chen to enter. Xiao Chen walked in with large strides. A sandalwood fragrance immediately assaulted his face, clearing his mind and making him feel much more at ease. This feeling was simply too wonderful for words. The Venerable Xianbei sat cross-legged before a mahogany table. There was tea on the table, and 2 strands of smoke lingered in the air, creating a unique charm. "It is rare for Benefactor Xiao to visit me before you leave." Xiao Chen took a sip of the tea and said with a smile, "Master, haven't you been in seclusion? He seems to know everything about me like the back of his hand. When I heard that you were coming, I asked someone to sort out your recent whereabouts. I knew that you were probably going to leave." Grandmaster Xianbei's voice was unhurried, and no one could tell if he was happy or sad. However, Xiao Chen was able to detect a trace of lingering melancholy and self-blame in his expression. "Master, there's something on my mind." Xianbei raised his eyebrows and looked at Xiao Chen. He sighed and said, "I don't need to hide it from you. I think you can guess it. Are you here to blame me for taking away your saber technique manual?" Chen shook his head and said, I won't. Although I am not willing to accept my saber manual, I will not accept it. Since Master gave me spirit jades and the golden book, I can understand Master's painstaking efforts. Xian Bei looked at Xiao Chen's expression and sighed helplessly. If Zhen Yuan had half your mental state, he would not be in his current state. However, it is also my fault. He wanted to go to the hidden spirit temple long ago, but I kept thinking that his Buddhist cultivation was not sufficient. It was not the right time yet, so I told him to wait patiently. However, he did not know that a heart demon had already been planted in him. Xiao Chen put down the teacup and said, aside from catching up, I came here this time to tell Master something else. It has to do with Zhen Yuan. You saw him? The Venerable Xian Bei's tone turned heavy, and his expression changed greatly. It was clear that he cared a lot about this disciple. I did. Xiao Chen nodded and honestly told the Venerable Xian Bei about his encounter with Zhen Yuan in the underground Dragon City. However, he hid the matter of him and the faux god Flame. When the Venerable Xian Bei heard that Zhen Yuan had absorbed the Black Dragon King's demonic nature, his expression changed dramatically. The Venerable Xian Bei let out a long sigh, looking like he had aged by more than 10 years. Many thanks, benefactor, for telling me all this. Seeing the Venerable Xian Bei bowing to him, Xiao Chen quickly stood up and returned the bow. Venerable is too serious. Venerable saved my life. That is already a great favor. This is nothing. After thinking for a long time, the Venerable Xian Bei said, Benefactor Xiao, can you promise me one thing? Curious, Xiao Chen asked, what is it? If you see Zhen Yuan again, if you have the ability, can you spare his life and save him from this sea of bitterness? The Venerable Xian Bei looked at Xiao Chen with an extremely grave expression. Chapter 1765. Should I agree or not? The Venerable Xian Bei's request was extraordinarily excessive. First of all, Xiao Chen's relationship with Zhen Yuan was far from good. In fact, it was more like they were rivals and had conflicts. Secondly, Zhen Yuan was not weak. After he absorbed the Black Dragon King's demonic nature, his cultivation was higher than Xiao Chen's. Zhen Yuan's comprehension ability was also not low. If Xiao Chen met such a person, how could he hold back in a fight? Holding back would be asking for his own life. However, when Xiao Chen looked into the Venerable Xian Bei's eyes, he could not bear to refuse. After thinking for a long time, Xiao Chen said, I'll do my best. While ensuring my own life, I'll do my best to let him live. I'll bring him back to the profound light temple. The Venerable Xian Bei said, Many thanks, Benefactor Xiao. That is enough. That child, Zhen Yuan, does not have a bad nature. Him taking this path has something to do with me. If Benefactor Xiao can free him from this sea of bitterness, you will be able to resolve the knot in this old monk's heart. Xiao Chen thought for a while before saying, Venerable, why do you feel that I will definitely meet Zhen Yuan? The world is vast and boundless. If one is not looking for him, it will be easier said than done to meet someone. Fate. Everything is because of that Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique. Since the two of you cultivate this saber technique, you will meet each other sooner or later. The Venerable Xian Bei showed a complicated expression. After a pause he said, Wait for a while. Let me show you something. The Venerable Xian Bei turned around and entered a secret room. After a while, he came out and handed a painting to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen gave the Venerable Xian Bei a doubtful look. Then, he unfurled the painting, and his expression changed slightly. The Mahamaya Abstinence Violation Saber Technique Manual. When Blessed Curls unfurled, the style of the painting was exactly the same as the incomplete saber technique manual that Xiao Chen once possessed. However, there was only one hand gesture in the painting. It looked like a saber technique manual but also somewhat different. The Venerable Xian Bei looked at it and said, This is not a saber technique manual. This is the starting stance of the Mahamaya Abstinence Violation Saber Technique. The complete saber technique was lost long ago and is scattered everywhere. Who knows how long it will take to collect it? The saber technique originally had a total of 9 moves. Including the starting stance, there are a total of 10 moves. Xiao Chen's eyes were solemn. He felt that he had benefited greatly from this starting stance, but he still couldn't comprehend it. Thanks a lot. After putting away the painting, Xiao Chen expressed his gratitude. This was a pleasant surprise. He did not have any special intentions in agreeing to the Venerable Xian Bei's request. Unexpectedly, he managed to obtain the starting stance of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique. This was truly a pleasant surprise. A saber technique with a starting stance and without a starting stance were two completely different concepts. On the table are some Patala Mountain's white Shaohua head hair, as well as some 10,000-year-old sandalwood. Consider it a farewell gift. Take it with you. Master Xianbei said in a warm voice as he pointed to the tea leaves and sandalwood on the table. The name of this tea leaf had a different kind of Zen meaning. Xiao Chun loved fine wine the most, followed by tea. With such good tea, he naturally wouldn't stand on ceremony. Goodbye. Xiao Chen performed a cupped fist salute and left. Under the Venerable Xianbei's gaze, he left the profound light temple and the Patala mountain. Half a month later, inside a pirate hall in the Grave Sea, Xiao Chen familiarly entered and arrived at the West Wind Tower. Back then, it was in this pirate hall that Xiao Chen had witnessed Ling Yu fighting another Blessed Land disciple. Now, in less than 2 years, he returned to this place. Everything was the same as before. However, Xiao Chen was no longer the same as before. He did not even fear a star venerate. As Xiao Chen looked at the signboard of the West Wind Tower, he stood there for a long time. Back then, he had asked this chief manager Ding of the West Wind Tower for help in entering the Black Cave Mountain, using his promise to obtain a recommendation letter. Naturally, Xiao Chen did not forget about this promise. If there was an opportunity, he would fulfill this promise when he asked about the Black Cutlass. Xiao Chen greets Ding Yuan, Chief Manager Ding. After reporting, Xiao Chen was brought to the highest reception room of the West Wind Tower. Ding Yuan received Xiao Chen with a wide smile. However, when he saw Xiao Chen, he was greatly startled, showing a horrified expression. In a short 2 years, Xiao Chen had advanced from a half-step primal core veritable personage to peak late-stage major primal core realm. More importantly, Ding Yuan felt an aura from Xiao Chen that inspired fear in his soul. That was a pressure that only a star venerate could give Ding Yuan. For some reason, Ding Yuan felt that the one standing before him was not a major primal core venerate but a bona fide star venerate. What's wrong? After 2 years, Chief Manager Ding has forgotten about this Xiao? Xiao Chen asked indifferently. Ding Yuan recovered his wits after a long time. Then, he smiled bitterly and said, I heard that you successfully entered the Blessed Land. However, I truly did not expect you to change so much in a short 2 years. Xiao Chen did not deny it. 2 years is not long, it passes in the blink of an eye. I can have my current cultivation because of my accumulations in the veritable personage realm. You should not be surprised. In reality, Xiao Chen did not feel that his cultivation had advanced too quickly. When he was in the veritable personage realm, the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy and the heavenly Yang pill already helped him establish a firm foundation. The moment he entered the primal core realm, his earlier accumulations erupted, which made sense. This bit of accomplishment was nothing for a 9-star primal core realm cultivator. Shangguan Lei was a venerate who condensed a 6-star primal core and already broke through to star venerate. It was normal for Xiao Chen to have his current cultivation. Ding Yuan smiled embarrassedly and said, Let's not talk about this for now. Why are you looking for me? I once made you a promise. If you have anything you need to do, I can help you now. Xiao Chen said frankly. Ding Yuan smiled craftily, a shrewd look in his eyes. Then, he waved his hand and said, There's no rush. There's no rush. It was still too early to use it. As a shrewd businessman, how could Ding Yuan not see Xiao Chen's future prospects? Xiao Chen was not surprised. Then, he brought up the second matter. Help me ask around for news of the Black Cutlass. I want to meet up with them as soon as possible. Black Cutlass. Ding Yuan slapped his forehead and said, I nearly forgot. This ship is yours. News of the Black Cutlass is not hard to find. Right now, probably all the pirates in the Grave Sea have heard of the Black Cutlass. A thought occurred to Xiao Chen. He smiled and said, Let's hear it. 2 years ago, this ship was unknown. However, it is now a famous 4-star pirate group in the Grave Sea. Even some of the veteran 5-star pirate groups have to avoid them when they see them. The most incredible time was when they tricked the Divine Shield Army in a dangerous land. They caused the Divine Shield Army to lose more than half of the Grave Sea's Divine Shield Army. We have tried to hunt it down several times, but we have not succeeded. We have already raised its bounty to the 9th rank of the Grave Sea's wanted list. It's also the only 4-star pirate group in the top 10. It looked like the missing Savage Blood star Venerate was probably dead. Otherwise, the Iron Hand Yama would not have such a huge grudge against the Divine Shield Army. Without needing to think, Xiao Chen could guess that the person who ambushed the Divine Shield Army had to be the Iron Hand Yama of the Black Cutlass. However, Xiao Chen did not care about this. He did not have a good impression of the Divine Shield Corps. If the Iron Hand Yama wanted revenge, he would definitely support it. When was the last time the Black Cutlass appeared? Xiao Chen asked. He was more concerned about Hai Shui and wanted to see his old friends as soon as possible. Be it the beast governing sects Elder Tang, Fei and Luonan, whom Xiao Chen met when he first arrived in the Great Thousand Realms, or the Iron Hand Yama, who had a sharp tongue but a soft heart, all of them were Xiao Chen's friends. I haven't seen her for 2 years and I miss her dearly. Ding Yuan smiled and said, There's no rush. Let me look for it. After a while, Ding Yuan showed a slightly strange expression. What's going on? The last time the Black Cutlass appeared was 3 months ago. Xiao Chen asked, What's so strange about that? Ding Yuan looked at Xiao Chen and said, Brother Xiao Chen, you might not know this, but the various pirate halls pay special attention to such a 4-star pirate ship. No matter where it is, there will be news of it at least once a month. Xiao Chen's heart sank. In that case, what's going on now? I'm not sure about that either. However, Brother Xiao Chen, don't worry. I don't think the Black Cutlass got wiped out. If it got wiped out, the Pirate Alliance would definitely send out accurate news. It would not be like this, where there is no news at all. Xiao Chen thought to himself. The Black Cutlass could summon the Yazi Beast Demon Soul at any time. In the Grave Sea, even if it ran into a peak 5-star pirate ship, it would be able to protect itself. Where was the Black Cutlass 3 months ago? Ding Yuan looked around and said in a trembling voice, The Grave Island Sea Region. Chapter 1766. Grave Island Sea Region? The Grave Sea Region was located in the center of this sea. There were a few mysterious islands, all of which were graves, hence the name. The graves on the islands were incredibly mysterious. No one knew whose graves they were or when they were left behind. That sea region was a forbidden land of the entire Grave Sea. One would most likely die if they entered. Very few people came out of that place alive. Even though that Grave Island had many natural treasures of the outside world, very few people would go and explore it. Knowing that death awaited them, who would not care about their lives and charge in. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. Luonan, Fei and the others would not charge into the Grave Island Sea region for no reason at all. There had to be something wrong with this. He had to find out the reason behind it. If he found out that there were other secrets behind it, he would definitely die. If Xiao Chen found out what other secrets there were, he would absolutely not let them off. After some thought, Xiao Chen said, Chief Manager Ding, help me investigate this matter. I want to know why they went to the Grave Sea. Don't worry. Leave it to me. I will definitely give you an answer within 3 days. Ding Yuan's expression turned grave. It was rare for Xiao Chen to ask him for help, and it was within his capabilities to do so. If Ding Yuan improved his relationship with Xiao Chen, there would be even more benefits in the future. As a businessman, he could see through this kind of thing very clearly. Xiao Chen stayed in a rented courtyard in the pirate hall for now, waiting for news. While waiting, Xiao Chen did not remain idle. He took out the starting stance of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique that the Venerable Xian Bei gave him. The starting stance. Every saber technique had a starting stance. Without a starting stance, it would be an incomplete saber technique that was very incomplete. Even the flawless saber technique that Xiao Chen created had a starting stance. However, because Xiao Chen created it himself, the starting stance was already ingrained in his heart. There was no need to learn it, as it was his own to begin with. However, if it were someone else's saber technique, then he would have to grasp the starting stance. This was especially so for a cultivation technique that was directly comprehended from a primogenitor-grade cultivation technique. Looking at it from a certain point of view, this single starting stance was even more valuable than the 3 crippled moves that Xiao Chen had grasped. Xiao Chen looked at the painting carefully. A monk, holding a Buddhist commandment blade, made a gesture of getting ready. He held the saber in his right hand and pointed it at the sky. His left hand formed a special Buddhist hand seal. The manager explained that the hand seal was the 7 kill seal. It represented the 7 different killing intents in the world. This handprint was not an original creation of Buddhism. It was absorbed and dissolved from the pagan religion. In the Buddhist sect, it was a forbidden technique that ordinary people could not cultivate. There were also 7 types of killing intent. Xiao Chen was deep in thought. He had never seen or heard of such a thing before. After carefully reading the annotations on the scroll, he suddenly realized that it was referring to 7 different mental states. There was an indifferent killing intent, as if he was casually stepping on an ant. There was a killing intent that was as gentle as water, as calm and unruffled as a small stream. When he killed, his mind was calm, and there was even a trace of joy. There was a world-shaking killing intent, as if he wanted to fight a powerful enemy and was willing to risk his life. There was extreme hatred and killing intent. Anger attacked the heart, shocking the heavens. There was an unbearable killing intent. He didn't want to kill, but he couldn't bear it. After carefully thinking about it, Xiao Chen discovered that his killing intent was inseparable from these 7 types. He would eventually be able to find a corresponding one. After forming the 7 kill seal, the wielder's killing intent would increase 7-fold. Furthermore, he would be able to control it as he pleased. When Xiao Chen saw this, he could not help but feel his hair stand on end. No wonder this seal was considered a forbidden technique. If an ordinary person cultivated this, it would be strange if they did not enter a state of berserking qi deviation and fall into the demonic Tao. Only a virtuous esteemed monk with a benevolent heart could resolve the repercussions of forming this seal. Xiao Chen continued watching. Xiao Chen discovered that the crux of this stance was not the 7 kill seal. Instead, it was the understanding of the entire Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique. This saber technique was boundlessly vast, broad, and profound. Everyone could gain different insights from it. Every move and every style could be dismantled. When creating a saber technique according to one's character, its might would be equally terrifying. Every move and stance could be broken down into a profound saber technique. Interesting. It looks like that Zhen Yuan comprehended the Azura Hell Saber from entering Hell. This person's mastery of the Buddhist Dharma was indeed superior to Xiao Chen's. If Xiao Chen had not seen this stance, he definitely would not have thought that a simple saber and stance could be broken down and cultivated. Closing the painting, Xiao Chen entered deep thought. He had learned 2 moves of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique, breaking the mundane and resolving the mundane. He thought that he had comprehended the true meaning of his cultivation. However, when he looked at this stance, he discovered that it was just the beginning. As the Buddhist said, one flower, one world, one leaf, one Bodhi. One move, breaking the mundane, could form a school of its own, branching out from simplicity to complexity. Shao Chun continuously evolved the true meaning of breaking the mundane, using the saber in his hand to interpret it more comprehensively. What about the end? Suddenly, Shao Chun comprehended something. He thought about the cultivation of his saber technique. He thought about his cultivation of saber techniques, but he was just repeating two processes, from simplicity to complexity, and from complexity to simplicity. Every time he repeated it, the second time would be even more difficult. It was just like when Shao Chun was in the Kunlun realm. At first, he only learned the simplest and most basic saber technique. Then, he started to learn all sorts of complicated and profound saber technique. This was going from simplicity to complexity. Finally, he comprehended the flawless saber technique. Everything he learned in half his life was in the 7 moves of the flawless saber technique. This was going from complexity to simplicity. When Shao Chun arrived in the Great Thousand Realms, his horizons were broadened. Then, he started to go from simplicity to complexity on the foundation of the flawless saber technique. Suddenly, Shao Chun's mind became clear. His understanding of saber techniques immediately rose by another level. Invisibly, his saber Tao's great Tao energy improved further. Observing the stance of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique allowed him to draw inferences about other cases, benefiting him greatly. Shao Chun closed his eyes and deepened his comprehension further. 2 days later, Shao Chun opened his eyes and started to focus on cultivating the 7-kill seal. Although Shao Chun was not an esteemed monk of the Buddhist sect, his experiences had tempered his mental state to the point that it was no weaker than an esteemed monk. Furthermore, Shao Chun was not a member of the Buddhist sect and could not break the rules of the Buddhist sect. When cultivating, he had fewer worries, which made it harder for a heart demon to form. With his astonishing comprehension ability, Shao Chun's cultivation of the 7-kill seal, which had clear explanations and paintings as a reference, went rather smoothly. After spending only 3 days, he gained some comprehension. As Shao Chun's left hand's hand seals changed continuously, his heart moved accordingly. The crux of successfully forming the 7-kill seal was that the various killing intents in one's heart had to change according to the hand seals. There could not be any mistake. Otherwise, one would fail. Slowly, Shao Chun felt his killing intent become like water, strangely connecting with the hand seals of his left hand. As the killing intent changed, it molded into all sorts of shapes, entering a wondrous state. Shao Chun's nimble hands formed all sorts of hand seals, and the killing intent in his heart moved accordingly. Eventually, Shao Chun discovered that his killing intent no longer came from his heart. Instead, it was completely controlled by his left hand. Instead, his heart became a bystander, entering a certain ethereal state. It was like a lotus flower never touching water or the sun and moon never hanging high in the sky. The so-called killing intent was just pure killing intent. It had nothing to do with my heart or with me, Shao Chun. He directly stripped the killing intent from his heart. With a quick glance, the 7-kill seal had already been formed. The entire cultivation room was enveloped by an extremely enormous and heavy killing intent, yet Shao Chun didn't feel anything disperse. With a slight movement of his left hand, the boundless killing intent vanished. Kacha! It was as if a bright moon had fallen into the water, splashing clear water. Shao Chun's heart also fell into the water along with the bright moon. It was over. That ethereal state. Shao Chun woke up with a start. His eyes were bright and clear. His soul seemed to have been cleansed just now. His eyes were exceptionally clear and bright, without a speck of dust, just like a gem. His body emitted a simple, elegant, and otherworldly aura that merged with the ice feather divine art that he cultivated, making him appear even more extraordinary. The cultivation techniques of the Buddhist sect were truly profound. Xiao Qun sighed in his heart. Although the 7-kill seal seemed to be boundlessly domineering, it did not seem like a Buddhist cultivation technique. But on the inside, it was a Buddhist sect cultivation technique. Young Master Xiao, I found it. Just at this moment, Chief Steward Ding's voice rang out from outside the room. Xiao Qun startled awake. 7 days have passed already? I really didn't feel it. Chapter 1767. Ding Yuan walked in with a somewhat grave expression. He said to Xiao Qun, Young Master Xiao, it is indeed as you expected. There is more to this matter than meets the eye. Is that so? What's the secret? When Xiao Qun saw Ding Yuan's strange expression, he knew that something was wrong, so he wasn't surprised. Ding Yuan told Xiao Qun about the information he gathered. Young Master Xiao, have you heard of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group? Xiao Qun shook his head and said, I do not know much about the pirate factions of the Grave Sea. Ding Yuan said after some thought, the original 2 overlords of the Grave Sea are the Savage Blood Pirate Group and the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. They are both peak 5-star pirate groups, and their captains are peak early-stage star venerates. With their 5-star pirate ships, unless the Blessed Enclave's Grand Supreme Elder appears, almost no one can stop them. Xiao Qun nodded to show that he understood and gestured for Ding Yuan to continue. The Black Cutlass came into contact with the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group 3 months ago. After that, the Black Cutlass went to the Grave Island Sea region. Ding Yuan said somewhat apologetically, what exactly happened is rather secretive. I am not very clear about it. However, I guess that the Black Cutlass venturing to the Grave Island Sea region might be related to the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. Xiao Qun entered deep thought. You mean that the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group forced the Black Cutlass to go to the Grave Island Sea region? Ding Yuan nodded and said, I don't dare to say that it is definitely so. However, based on the information I received from various sources, the Black Cutlass should be asking this Wolf Smoke Pirate for help. Helpless, I was forced to go to the Grave Island Sea region. Helpless? Forced? Yes, Remnant Blood and the Wolf Smoke Pipe were very powerful in the past, and there was a grudge between them for a long time. After that, Savage Blood was destroyed, and their Iron Hand Yama went to the Black Cutlass. Ding Yuan paused for a moment before continuing. Given the personality of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's captain, it is impossible for him not to make things difficult for them. The corners of Xiao Qun's mouth curled up into a smile. That smile caused Ding Yuan to shiver inexplicably, and he felt waves of coldness assaulting him. Xiao Qun could not help but feel shocked. He clearly did not feel any killing intent from young Master Xiao. Why did his heart tremble for some reason? Wolf Smoke Pirate Crew. Xiao Qun muttered to himself, repeating the name of this pirate crew several times. Young Master Xiao, going to the Grave Island Sea region might not necessarily lead to trouble. It would not be too late to make a decision after confirming whether the Black Cutlass is safe or not. Ding Yuan's meaning was clear. Although Xiao Qun was pretty strong, he had not broken through to Star Venerate in the end. Furthermore, the other party was an old overlord of the Grave Sea Pirates. If the crew of the Black Cutlass was safe and nothing happened, this matter would be over. The less trouble, the better. Fighting them head-on would not be advantageous. After all, not only was the captain of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group an old monster who had advanced to Star Venerate many years ago, but the group also had many experts. No matter how one looked at it, Xiao Qun alone wouldn't be able to gain any advantage. He might even end up humiliating himself and losing his life. Ding Yuan's heart was filled with worry, but he didn't mean anything else. Xiao Qun said calmly, I don't have any evidence and can only rely on speculation. I won't act recklessly, that's good. Ding Yuan heaved a sigh of relief. If Xiao Qun really wanted to seek trouble for the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group, he would not know what to do. However, this involves my friend. Even if it is just a guess, I have to find the Wolf Smoke pirate group to clarify things. The Black Cutlass is not something that can be casually bullied by him. Ding Yuan's heavy heart immediately tensed up again. Young Master Xiao, but Xiao Qin waved his hand and said, Chief Manager Ding, there is no need to try to persuade me. Give me a copy of the Wolf Smoke pirate group's information. The more detailed, the better. Feeling helpless, Ding Yuan sighed. I guess that it might be impossible to persuade you. I have already prepared the Wolf Smoke pirate group's information in advance. After saying that, Ding Yuan handed a stack of information that he had prepared in advance to Xiao Qin. Xiao Qin received it and read it seriously. After a while, he closed the stack and muttered to himself. The Wolf Smoke pirate group's captain, Jiang Hengchuan, was known as the Wolf King. He was iron-blooded and tyrannical, cruel, and cunning. He was a peak early-stage star venerate who had experienced hundreds of battles and killed people like flies. In the Grave Sea, he was a bona fide tyrant. Even the rank 3 sects of the Blessed Lands would give him face. When the Wolf Smoke pirate group ran into his pirate ship, he would not clash head-on. He would always bribe the Savage Blood Star Venerate before leaving. Earlier, he had been equally famous as the Savage Blood Star Venerate. However, he had always been slightly inferior to the Savage Blood Star Venerate. Now that the Savage Blood Star Venerate was destroyed, he became the sole tyrant of the Grave Sea. In the past 2 years, his strength had soared tremendously. The Savage Blood Star Venerate had recruited the experts of many pirate groups. Among the pirates of the Grave Sea, he held great prestige and rallying power. The Savage Blood Star Venerate had 8 experts under him. All of them were peak major primal core cultivators, no weaker than an ordinary Star Venerate. There was also a vice-captain, whose strength was second only to the Savage Blood Star Venerate, also an early-stage Star Venerate expert. The Wolf Smoke pirate group had a total of 8 pirate ships, 1 peak 5-star pirate ship and 7 ordinary 5-star pirate ship. Right now, the Wolf Smoke pirate group was at its peak. What strong strength! They were even stronger than the Savage Blood Star Venerate from back then. As for how strong the Savage Blood Star Venerate was, Xiao Qin had personally experienced it. Xiao Qin remembered back then, when the Savage Blood Star Venerate issued a mission, he immediately gathered thousands of pirate group. The scene was very grand and he still remembered it vividly. The Wolf King's birthday will be in the middle of this month. At that time, he will hold a banquet at the largest pirate hall in the Grave Sea, inviting all the pirate groups of various sizes. Ding Yuan quickly told Xiao Qin the next piece of news. When Xiao Qin heard that, he felt stunned. So high profile? Ding Yuan smiled and said, he has no choice but to be high profile. Right now, the Wolf Smoke pirate group is at its peak. He wants to use this birthday banquet to see who will not dare to give him face and oppose him, pushing his influence to the peak. Secondly, he wants to accept gift. The pirates of various sizes who come to the banquet will definitely be prepared to accept gift. Pirates never lack treasures or spirit jades. Those who want to curry favor with him will definitely give valuable gift. Those who do not want to curry favor with him will be afraid of offending him by giving too little. In this way, the gifts will pile up to an astronomical figure. Such a method of gaining wealth is even more brilliant and powerful than being a pirate. The businessman, Ding Yuan, was able to tell what was going on with a single glance. He spoke bluntly. Xiao Qin looked at Ding Yuan and said, "You mean that this is the most suitable time for me to look for him?" "That's right. Otherwise, he would be on the pirate ship the rest of the time. At that time, even if young Master Xiao has extraordinary means, in the end, he will not be able to escape death." Ding Yuan hesitated somewhat, but he still spoke the truth in the end. Xiao Qin knew the might of a pirate ship. Even a middle-stage Star Venerate would not be able to take down a peak 5-star pirate ship. The Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's strength was extraordinary in the first place. Coupled with the pirate ship, it would be even more difficult to deal with him. Shao Chen gave Ding Yuan a deep look and said, "Many thanks. In the future, if Chief Manager Ding wants to go to the Profound Light Temple to pay respects to Buddha, you can use my name to look for the Venerable Xian Bei." Ding Yuan was a Buddhist and was rather devout in his faith. When he heard that, he felt shocked. The Profound Light Temple was a holy land in the hearts of the Buddhist believers in the Grave Sea. More importantly, Shao Chen actually knew the Venerable Xian Bei. Based on Shao Chen's tone, it seemed like their relationship was close. This greatly startled Ding Yuan. He simply did not expect it. In a mere 2 years, Shao Chen had already reached such height. The Venerable Xian Bei was one of the top experts in the entire Grave Sea. No wonder Shao Chen was so confident, daring to seek out the Wolf Smoke pirate group to clarify things. At first, Ding Yuan thought that Shao Chen was going to send himself to death. There's no need. Young Master Shao is too polite. This is just something as easy as lifting a finger. It was me who misunderstood earlier. Since that is the case, why don't young Master Shao invite the Venerable Xian Bei? With the Venerable Xian Bei's status, that Wolf King will not dare to behave atrociously. Shao Chen shook his head and said, "I do not like owing favors. Furthermore, this is my personal matter." More importantly, Shao Chen did not feel that he could not handle it. In Dragon Flame City, Shao Chen challenged the young experts of the dozens of nearby astral clusters. He had not suffered a single defeat. His vision was no longer limited to the Grave Sea. No matter how strong the Wolf Smoke pirate group was, there was a limit to it. Right now, the most important question was what exactly the Black Cutlass wanted from the Wolf Smoke pirate group. This was the crux of the problem. Ding Yuan had been worried about Shao Chen's safety. That was not what he considered at all. Chapter 1768. What exactly was the matter? Why did the Black Cutlass seek the Wolf Smoke pirate group's help? This was the most important thing in this conflict. Shao Chen thought for a while before saying, "Chief Manager Ding, I still have to ask you for a favor." "Young Master Shao, please speak your mind. There is no need to stand on ceremony. I would like to know why the Black Cutlass seeks the Wolf Smoke pirate group's help." I'll do my best. However, I cannot guarantee anything." "Many thanks." After Ding Yuan left, Shao Chen looked at the Wolf Smoke pirate group's information and entered deep thought. The middle of this month was the birthday banquet of that so-called Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan. After careful calculation, it was only a little more than 10 days, if the journey was also included. If one included the distance, that would leave Shao Chen with only a short 8 days to prepare. After thinking for a while, Shao Chen walked out of the courtyard and arrived at the Pirate Hall's bazaar. Shao Chen never fought a battle that he was not confident in, nor would he act rashly. 8 days was sufficient for him to make proper preparations. The Pirate Hall's bazaar was always bustling. Here, one could get cheated or pick up scraps. The bazaar was not as formal as the auction house. However, there was an additional possibility. Hence, even some major customers frequented this kind of free bazaar. Shao Chen needed a set of materials with a tyrannical attribute and filled with baleful qi that were suitable for him to carve. He could not search the auction house in 8 days, so he could only come to the bazaar to try his luck. As Shao Chen strolled through the bazaar, his eyes flickered with a bright light. He did not miss a single stall of the various places. Even those inconspicuous stalls were not left out. "My luck is pretty good." After a while, Shao Chen revealed a faint smile. When he saw a stall that caught his eye, he hoped to succeed on his first try. "This little brother, with one look, I can tell that you have good taste. This beast bone of mine is the wing bone of one of the ancient overlords of the sea, the dragon Shadow Condor. My final offer is 500,000 medial-grade spirit jade." The stall owner was a skinny old man who hid his cultivation. However, Shao Chen could make it out. This was a low-profile star venerate. His clothes and aura did not stand out. The stall only had this wing bone as a treasure, and its price was extremely high. Clearly, it was waiting for someone with a good eye to come and sell it for a good price. Previously, there had been quite a few youngsters who were interested in this wing bone. After knowing the price, they all left while cursing the stall owner for being greedy. The dragon shadow condor is one of the few bird beasts that have dragon blood in them. Apart from the dragon blood, it also had a trace of the underworld ghost bird's bloodline. Those who have survived until now are all overlords comparable to human kings. Xiao Chen squatted down and observed the wing bone. He spoke in a soft voice, neither too fast nor too slow. While talking, Xiao Chen sent a wisp of his soul consciousness into the wing bone. Hua! In his mind, a huge black eagle appeared. When the black eagle spread its wings, it was at least 1,000 feet wide. Flying close to the surface of the sea, it created huge waves. There was a faint feeling of a dragon's roar in the wind stirred up by the wings, shaking the surroundings. The strangest thing was that the figure of this huge black eagle seemed somewhat illusory. It was similar to the faux god flame, existing between reality and illusion. Some splashes of water passed through his wings like it was air, directly passing through. This was indeed the real deal. The stall owner did not lie. This little brother has good eyes. The stall owner's originally listless eyes immediately lit up. Originally, he thought that Xiao Chen would be like the other youths, not knowing what was good. Unexpectedly, the moment Xiao Chen opened his mouth, he mentioned the miraculous aspect of the dragon shadow condor. Xiao Chen withdrew his spiritual sense and sighed softly. Unfortunately, although it is strange and has the ability to illusory parts of its body, its true offensive power cannot compare to the nine-winged thunder rock. Its ability to illusory parts cannot compare to the nine-winged thunder rock. Its ability to illusory parts cannot compare to the authentic underworld ghost bird. The stall owner smiled in his heart. Reliable. They were going to haggle over the price. However, the stall owner misunderstood. Xiao Chen truly felt that it was unfortunate. If it were a nine-winged thunder rock or an authentic underworld ghost bird, he would have liked it. It was barely enough. Without waiting for the stall owner to speak, Xiao Chen directly handed him a spatial ring. There were exactly 500,000 medial-grade spirit jades in it. This, little brother, you are really straightforward. The stall owner was stunned for a while before he reacted. He had only said a few words, and it was already done. This was truly unexpected, making him feel some regret. Did he set the price too low? Wait. Xiao Chen, who had already put away the dragon shadow condor's wing bone, turned around and said cautiously, "Are you going back on your word?" "No, this old man's reputation has always been good." The stall owner smiled and said, "I still have something that I have not sold yet. Little brother, why don't you take a look?" Time was limited. Since Xiao Chen had already obtained the materials he wanted, he no longer had the patience to remain here. No matter how precious the other treasures were, Xiao Chen had no use for them. "Never mind, take it out and let me take a look," Xiao Chen said casually. The stall owner took out a transparent jade bottle containing something that looked like fresh blood. With just one look, Xiao Chen could not shift his gaze away. The fresh blood seemed to have a demonic nature, wriggling slowly and giving off a strange light. Xiao Chen recovered his wit. Then, he looked at the stall owner and said in surprise, "This is a drop of pure dragon shadow condor essence blood. I am somewhat curious. Did you kill a dragon shadow condor that still exists today?" That was a tyrant of the sea equal to a sovereign personage. With this old man's strength, he would not even be enough to fill the gaps between its teeth. More importantly, the strongest person in the grave sea was only a holy venerate. It had already been several hundred years since a sovereign personage had appeared. "Old man, naturally I don't have that ability. This drop of dragon shadow condor essence blood. This drop of dragon shadow condor essence blood was obtained by chance in a forbidden sea. A forbidden sea? Shao Chen frowned slightly. He had heard Xiao Suo speak of the Great Thousand Realms before. There were a total of 7 forbidden seas, the dream lands of all pirates. Those were the 7 forbidden seas that drifted alone in the starry heavens. Those were the seas where true pirate experts roamed. That was the true starry heavens. There seemed to be some clues connecting in Xiao Chen's mind. He thought of something but could not grasp the crux of it. Little brother, what do you think? Do you want this dragon shadow condor essence blood? Xiao Chen collected his thoughts and shook his head. No. Although it was something good, Xiao Chen really did not need it. Carving the life bestowal spell did require essence blood. However, it only required Xiao Chen's essence blood. Xiao Chen's blue dragon bloodline was much more noble and tyrannical than the dragon shadow condor. When the time came, Xiao Chen's blue dragon essence blood would definitely assimilate the dragon shadow condor essence blood. It would not have any effect at all. The stall owner immediately felt very frustrated. If you do not want it, you should have said so earlier. After waiting for so long, I thought that I could make another big deal. Ignoring the stall owner, Xiao Chen brought the wing bone back to the courtyard. After entering the secret room, he took out a carving knife and the wing bone and started carving seriously. Xiao Chen's movements were slow and focused. With every cut, he discovered that Xiao Chen's complexion paled slightly. In a place that the naked eye could not see. In the soul pool, the azure dragon medallion that represented Xiao Chen's will of soul was slowly dimming. This was the first time that Xiao Chen had spent so much effort on carving since he entered the Great Thousand Realms. Every saber strike was infused with Xiao Chen's soul energy. From the first cut, it contained spiritual energy and an inner soul. Such a high-level carving was also a test for Xiao Chen's carving skills. It was also a test for his physical body and soul. If he was not careful, his soul might rebound and hurt his foundation. In the secret room, Xiao Chen's movements showed a different kind of beauty. The entire world seemed to have slowed down because of his movements. After a full 7 days, Xiao Chen consecutively used 7 drops of pure blue dragon essence blood. His complexion was terrifyingly weak. Before this, no matter what kind of carving, Xiao Chen would only use 1 drop of essence blood. This time, he used an unprecedented 7 drops of essence blood. This was the limit that his physical body could endure. However, after doing all this, Xiao Chen revealed a rare relaxed smile on his weak face. It was enough. The trouble of the Wolf Smoke pirate group would no longer be a problem. What exactly was he carving for him to be so confident? Chapter 1769. The next morning, Ding Yuan came to see Xiao Chen. He was startled when he saw Xiao Chen's expression. Young Master Xiao, you entered a state of berserking qi deviation. At this moment, Xiao Chen's face was frighteningly pale. His qi and blood were weak. It was as if he had gone berserk and suffered from internal injuries. Xiao Chen forced a smile and said, I'm fine. Chief Steward Ding, you don't have to worry too much. I'll be fine after a few days of recovery. Ding Yuan reluctantly believed Xiao Chen's word. He said sullenly, I have let down young Master Zhao's trust. I simply cannot make any deductions from the information I gathered. What exactly does the Black Cutlass need from the Wolf Smoke pirate group? Xiao Chen told the other party about some of the clues he thought of yesterday. Then, he said, let me ask you something. Are there any requirements for pirate groups to enter the Forbidden Seas? Why are you asking about this? Tell me about it. Alright, no one would go to the Taboo Ocean for no reason because it is too dangerous. Just the route alone is already far enough, not to mention the dangers of the Taboo Ocean itself. Xiao Chen nodded. I know what you're talking about. Tell me more about it. To be more specific, it is impossible for ordinary pirate ships to enter the Taboo Ocean with their own strength. Xiao Chen was deep in thought. What is this common concept? Below 5 stars. The best pirate ship in the Grave Sea was a 5-star pirate ship. the wolf smoke pirate ship possessed the strength to deter the rank 3 sects of the Blessed Lands from clashing head-on with it. Could it be that they could not enter as well? Xiao Chen couldn't help but ask his own question. Ding Yuan smiled faintly and said, "This is a little special. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group just happens to have the ability to enter the Forbidden Sea." Xiao Chen asked curiously, "Why?" The Grave Seas Pirate Alliance Palace once issued 3 Iron Blood tokens to the Savage Blood Pirate Group, the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group, and another pirate group. With this medallion, one can use the power of the Grave Sea Pirate Group to enter the Forbidden Sea directly. Ding Yuan explained the ins and outs of the matter and told Xiao Chen the detailed reasons. After hearing that, Xiao Chen suddenly felt enlightened. He understood. Can the Iron Blood token be transferred? Sure. There's only one chance anyway. They would only issue the Iron Blood token if they made contributions to the Pirate Alliance in the future. The Pirate Alliance recognizes orders and not people. Xiao Chen muttered in his heart. True enough. He now knew what the Black Cutlass needed from the Wolf Smoke conglomerate. It was the Iron Blood token. However, Ding Yuan did not understand Xiao Chen's thoughts. He continued, however, "It looks like the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group has no intention of going to the Forbidden Seas at all. The Iron Blood token is simply a waste in their hands. Now, he is the king of the Grave Sea, living a carefree life. With just one birthday banquet, all the pirates of the Grave Sea did not dare to not give him face, competing to curry favor with him." Xiao Chen did not continue listening. He cupped his hands and said, "Many thanks for the answer, Chief Steward Ding. I will take my leave first. See you later." Without waiting for Ding Yuan to respond, Zhang Xian left in a flash. Answer? What is the answer? Ding Yuan was confused. He didn't know what Xiao Chen understood. After leaving the pirate hall, Xiao Chen flew over the sea at lightning speed. The seawater of the Grave Sea was different from ordinary seawater. It was a sea of stars formed after countless stars shattered and merged together. The gravity was very strong and strongly corrosive. When Xiao Chen first arrived in the Grave Sea, it was extremely difficult for him to fly above it. Now there was no problem. His physique could already completely resist the gravity of the seawater. Flying above was easy. Xiao Chen's destination was very clear. The largest pirate hall in the Grave Sea, the place where the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan held his birthday banquet. Xiao Chen's figure moved like lightning. The instant he flew over, few people could sense him. What fast speed! After not returning for so many years, the Grave Sea actually produced such a strong youth. On the surface of the sea, there was a pirate ship that did not look very majestic. A middle-aged man in captain's uniform stood at the bow of the ship. From his words, it was clear that he had extraordinary strength and good judgment. This person caught a glimpse. Not only did he see Xiao Chen's figure, but he also clearly saw Xiao Chen's appearance and determined his age. "Captain, I seem to have seen this youth before." The middle-aged captain revealed an interested expression. Then, he turned his head back and smiled. "Old Yuan, you know him? This youth is not simple. How did you get to know him? Tell me." If Xiao Chen were here, he would definitely recognize this old Yuan. This was the stall owner who sold him the dragon shadow condor wing bone. Old Yuan explained. That day, Captain was reminiscing with the pirate hall's hall master. "Since I had nothing to do, I went to the market to sell some leftover goods from the Forbidden Sea. This youth is not only knowledgeable, but he is also very generous. He sold 500,000 medial-grade spirit jades without even blinking. Also, although Xiao Chen had only interacted with Xiao Chen that day for a short time, he left a deep impression on this stall owner. Hence, Xiao Chen remembered it very clearly and told everything that happened back then to this middle-aged captain. He seemed to be in a rush, clearly in a rush. He hid the killing chi in his eyes very well. The situation was clearly very urgent, but he did not show any killing chi or killing intent on his face. The middle-aged captain smiled meaningfully and said, I'm rather curious. Who is he going to kill and what is he doing with that wing bone? 5 days later, the largest pirate haul in the Grave Sea appeared before Xiao Chen's eyes. When Xiao Chen looked at the pirate hall's harbor, he saw many pirate ships with all sorts of flags. The number was startling, even more majestic than what Xiao Chen had seen previously. There were countless experts coming and going. Pirate ships continued to descend and gather at the harbor. Is this the place? It looks like I came somewhat early. After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Chen flew down. After a while, he entered the pirate hall. After asking around, Xiao Chen found out that he had come 1 day early. The Wolf Smoke Sovereign's birthday banquet was tomorrow. The Wolf Smoke Sovereign had great prestige. There were more than 3,000 guests. All those with some background in the Grave Sea were invited. Some of the guests who were not invited came because of the Wolf Smoke Sovereign's reputation, wanting to network and build a good relationship. The waiter who revealed the news to Xiao Chen sized up Xiao Chen with a few glances and said, Young master, you want to attend the birthday banquet as well, right? However, you do not have an invitation, right? Xiao Chen smiled and retorted, Do I look like a pirate to you? Who says that you have to be a pirate to attend the birthday banquet? The Wolf King's birthday banquet is a grand occasion of the Grave Sea, a rare occurrence. There are many people here to watch the excitement. If you are interested, just say so. I have some connections to help you get an invitation. The waiter looked over with a smile. It was like he already saw through Xiao Chen and knew what he was thinking. Xiao Chen put down his wine cup and said, There's no harm in taking a look. How much does one invitation cost? No bargaining. 200,000 inferior grade spirit jades. Xiao Chen thought to himself, this is really shady. The Wolf King's birthday banquet not only earns money for himself, but also provides for his subordinate. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's people must have gotten the invitation in private. Otherwise, how could an outsider obtain an invitation? You think it's expensive? Haha. Don't think it's expensive. 200,000 inferior grade spirit jades is limited. Furthermore, this is just the invitations for the outer regions. The invitations for the inner regions are even more expensive. The waiter could tell what Xiao Chen was thinking, so he spoke somewhat loftily. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and said, If you have an invitation for the main banquet, I will accept it even if you offer 500,000 medial grade spirit jades. Do you have any? The waiter immediately smiled embarrassedly and said, How can I sell invitations for the main banquet? They are all people that the Wolf King personally invited. They are not open to the public. No matter how much spirit jades you have, you will not be able to buy one. This depends on strength. You will need to have at least a peak 4-star pirate ship. Otherwise, how could you be qualified to sit at the main banquet? Xiao Chen entered deep thought. To think that the main banquet is not open to the public. This is somewhat difficult. Never mind. Give me an invitation for the outer regions. I need to use it tomorrow. Alright, that's not a problem. Late at night, Xiao Chen sat cross-legged and closed his eyes to rest. At the same time, he nurtured his aura. After 4 days of rushing, he had only exhausted his veritable essence energy. His soul energy and physique had already recovered to normal. He only needed 1 night to recuperate, and his mental state would reach its peak. The moment dawn arrived, Xiao Chen opened his eyes on time. A brilliant light flashed in them. Chapter 1770. Dawn had already arrived, and Xiao Chen had already made up his mind to kill. Xiao Chen pushed open the door and came out. He happened to run into the waiter who had prepared the invitation for him yesterday. Young master, you are up really early. Are you rushing to the Wolf King's birthday banquet? Xiao Chen smiled faintly and casually found a table to sit at. Then, he took out the white harmony flower head tea that the venerable Xian Bei gave him. He handed it to the waiter and said, There's no rush. Brew me a pot of tea first. All right. The waiter quickly received the tea leaves. Soon, he brought out a tea set and started brewing tea on Xiao Chen's table. The waiter was very familiar with brewing tea. Although he was not very skilled, he was experienced and knowledgeable. After all, this was the largest pirate hall in the Grave Sea, and the inn was the best. For one to be a waiter here, one had to be truly capable. The waiter used boiling water to brew the tea leaves. He discovered that as the tea leaves rolled around, a faint fragrance wafted out. As the waiter looked at the water in the teacup, he seemed to see his own life in the haziness. Figures came and went in a hurry in the inn. The waiter came with a smile and left with a smile. However, in the depths of his heart, he watched coldly from the sidelines, laughing and cursing, not himself. There were young chivalrous men, baleful pirates, sorrowful women, forthright men, and authoritative powerhouses in his eyes. The waiter had seen all sorts of things in the world, seen the bustling world of mortals. However, he suddenly discovered that he could not see through his own life. He watched coldly until the end, when he saw his already numb self appear in the teacup. Time passed quickly. Only when one's head turned white did one realize that time was priceless. "What did you see?" Xiao Chen suddenly asked, startling the waiter awake. The waiter looked at Xiao Chen, and his expression changed slightly. Then, he smiled and said, "No, I didn't see anything. These tea leaves have not stretched out yet. They need to be steeped in boiling water a few more times before they can stretch out and bring out the best tea fragrance." Xiao Chen knew what the waiter was thinking. He smiled and said, "This tea is called White Harmony Flower Head Tea. It needs a total of 7 steeps before it can reach its best state. But if you directly taste the 7th brew, you won't be able to taste the essence of this tea. The white hair of the Xiaohua period is but a blink of an eye. In the world, in the beautiful things, in the sincere feelings, there will always be a moment of loss. You don't have to deliberately be sad. What you need to experience is precisely the process of parting." Xiao Chen directly took a sip, the first brew of white Xiaohua, put down the teacup, and directly left. "Young master, your tea is not ready yet?" The waiter chased after him and shouted. "Keep it and savor it yourself." Looking at Xiao Chen's departing figure, the waiter's heart pounded. He felt that there was more to this white-robed youth's words. The purpose of going to the Wolf King's birthday banquet was not as simple as just joining in the fun. Shaking his head, Zhang Xian returned to the tavern. The waiter continued to brew tea. He was curious about what the white-robed Gongzi saw in the tea. With the invitation in hand, Xiao Chen arrived in front of an imposing courtyard in the pirate hall. They were early enough, but they still had to line up. There is no mistake about the invitation. However, what did you prepare as a birthday gift? When it was Xiao Chen's turn, the cultivator guarding the door handed the invitation to Xiao Chen and asked for a birthday gift. Xiao Chen had long since prepared for this. He took out a jade bottle and handed it to the other party. "Young hero Xiao Chen, I present you a peak-grade life juice source." The guard at the door shouted, startling everyone and attracting the attention of several people. This was a huge gift. "This young master, please come in. Please come in." This huge gift instantly startled the upper echelon of the Wolf Smoke pirate group responsible for receiving them. Then, they saw that Xiao Chen had an extraordinary air. Half of his hair was black and the other half was white, appearing cold and proud. Not daring to be slow, Xiao Chen, who held the invitation in the outer area, was successfully invited to the inner area. "Young master is really generous. If you had reported your name earlier, the captain might have invited you to the main banquet." The pirate serving Xiao Chen said with a smile. Xiao Chen said casually, "That is really unfortunate. I wonder, where is the main banquet being held?" "Do you see that tall building? The main banquet of the Wolf King's birthday banquet is on the top floor." Xiao Chen looked in the direction that the pirate pointed. He saw a tall building in the center of the courtyard. From the windows of the tall building, one could look out in all directions, taking in the entire grand occasion of the birthday banquet. However, the people outside could not see the situation inside. Xiao Chen smiled and said, "Sir, please go and receive the other honored guests. I'll take a look around. I wonder if that is convenient?" Haha. That's nothing. Everyone who comes is a guest. Furthermore, young master's gift is so huge. Don't blame me for not receiving you well, that person said straightforwardly. That person laughed straightforwardly. Clearly, he saw that Xiao Chen had an extraordinary background and did not dare to slight him. This was the effect of a huge gift. If it were an ordinary gift, Xiao Chen would not be able to enter this place casually and look around. Now that he obtained this person's approval, it would be much more convenient. It could only be said that it was worth it. As time passed, the spacious residence became livelier and livelier. Xiao Chen secretly observed and discovered that the honored guests personally invited by the Wolf King would be led into the tall building by specialized people. It was impossible for ordinary people to enter. The surroundings of the tall building were heavily guarded, and there were experts patrolling. However, in Xiao Chen's opinion, he had even barged into the cluster lord's residence. Even though the security was tight, it was nothing to him. Furthermore, that Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan simply did not believe that someone would dare to cause trouble at his birthday banquet. Right now, the Wolf Smoke pirate group was at its peak, dominating the Grave Sea and moving about unhindered. Anyone who dared to touch his eyebrows at this time was courting death. As for the true major characters of the Grave Sea, the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan did not think that he had offended them. Although he was arrogant and despotic, he could see the situation clearly. He would not get involved with people and forces that he could not afford to offend. For example, he would never rob a rank 4 sect in the blessed and heavenly land. Although he was arrogant, he knew his place. This was the reason why the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan could become the king of the Grave Sea Pirate. Of course, a large part of the reason was that the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group no longer had any opponents, allowing the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group to develop to its current level. At noon, the birthday banquet officially began. The various guests all took their places. Then, all the windows on the top floor of the tall building opened. A tall old man with a sinister gaze and a few faint scars on his face appeared in everyone's vision. The guests in any corner only needed to raise their heads slightly to see that person. This person was the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's captain, the one known as the Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan. Thank you, fellow cultivators and friends, for giving this Jiang face and coming to this old man's birthday banquet. I am truly overwhelmed by this favor and do not dare to accept it. This old man will drink 3 cups to thank everyone. Right after speaking, the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan took out a wine cup the size of a bowl and downed 3 cups. This immediately elicited cheers from countless people. The guests were all pirates, people who loved wine. The Wolf King's hearty drinking marked the curtains to the birthday banquet. The many guests at the various tables all started drinking to their heart's content. Kassier, Kassier. The windows on the top floor of the tall building all closed. Immediately, no one could see the scene in the main banquet. The crowd did not mind. It was normal for the Wolf King to put on airs. If anyone could come into contact with the Wolf King, then the guests would not care about the Wolf King. However, no one could see that someone was lying on the roof beam of the top floor. At this moment, a person was lying on the roof beam, looking at the clouds in the sky and listening to the conversation of the main banquet below. Xiao Chen had barged into the cluster lord's residence before. Naturally, it would not be difficult for him to hide this from the people below. Actually, the main banquet had already started long ago. There was only one large round table on the top floor. More than 100 people sat around it. All of them were at least late-stage major primal core cultivators. Most of them were early-stage star venerates. At the very least, these people were ruthless people with peak 4-star pirate ships. This was a gathering of the strongest and most influential pirates in the Grave Sea. Xiao Chen waited for an opportunity to make a move. He wanted to hear some useful information before going in to ask the Wolf King. 1 hour later, amid the clamor, when Shao Chun heard the words Black Cutlass, he immediately perked up. Boss Jiang, I heard that the Black Cutlass came to you to borrow the Iron Blood token. After drinking, the topic of conversation became more open. One of the captains heard the news and took the opportunity to ask about it. Jiang Hengchuan smiled in disdain and said, An insignificant 4-star pirate group is really bold. That's right. That is indeed the case. However, I sent them to the Grave Island Sea region. If they can help me obtain a ghost cloud flower, perhaps I can consider it. The moment Jiang Hengchuan said that, a wave of exclamations rang out. To think that the Black Cutlass really went to the Grave Island Sea region. That was a dangerous place. The Wolf King was really ruthless. If that Black Cutlass really finds a ghost cloud flower, will Boss Jiang give them the Iron Blood token? Someone asked. Jiang Hengchuan's gaze sank as he looked at this person, inspiring some fear in that person. After a while, Jiang Hengchuan smiled and said, This old man was just joking. To think that a bunch of fools actually believed it. What can I do? Will you go to the Grave Island Sea region? Ah. That person was stunned for a while. Then, he laughed and said, Of course not. Only a fool would go to the Grave Island Sea region. Ah. Immediately, the group of people roared with laughter. Indeed, only a fool would go to a place like the Grave Island Sea region. As they laughed, Shao Chen, who was on the roof, laughed as well. However, this laughter contained heavy murderous intent. Chapter 1771. Everyone at the main banquet laughed heartily. Under the indulgence of fine wine, their laughter became increasingly unbridled. They spoke openly about the Black Scimitar's fault. It was as if mocking the Black Scimitar would not be able to blend in. Speaking of which, this was normal. Many times, the dining table needed such a spice to make everyone laugh heartily. However, what was unusual was that the true master of the Black Scimitar was on the roof. Boom! Just as everyone was laughing heartily, a hole suddenly appeared in the roof. Shao Chen drifted down and landed on a wine flask, looking as light as a feather. Who is it? Such a scene startled the guests at the main banquet, not knowing what was going on. The Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's face sank. When he saw that Shao Chen did not give off any killing chi, he waved his hand to stop the people behind him, who were about to attack. Then, he looked at Shao Chen and asked, Who are you? Why are you so rude? Shao Chen exerted some force with his feet, and a wave of energy surged out. Immediately, all the delicacies on the table flew into the air and shot out in all directions. The guests in the surroundings were in a flurry as they tried to block the mess of filth that came their way. After the energy wave passed, the table became much cleaner. Then, Shao Chen sat on the floor. He looked at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan and said, Were you not very happy earlier? Untalented, I am the master of the Black Scimitar. Whoosh! The moment Shao Chen said that, a commotion immediately broke out. The guests all showed somewhat embarrassed expressions. This was normal. Speaking ill of others behind their backs, mocking them as fools. Who knew that the other party happened to be right beside them? After being caught red-handed, it would be strange if they were not embarrassed. The scene immediately turned somewhat strange. The originally aggressive people who wanted to reprimand Shao Chen immediately swallowed back their words. Just as the words were about to come out of his mouth, he forcefully swallowed them back. Actually, everyone also found it strange. Even if they spoke ill of others behind their backs, they would not feel so uncomfortable. Even if they were caught speaking ill of others, they would not feel so uncomfortable. But why was it that when he faced this young man, he felt that he was in the wrong and did not dare to be impudent? When the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan saw Shao Chen reveal his identity, he felt somewhat in the wrong. But then he laughed coldly. What, do you have a problem with me using the Black Scimitar as a monkey? As soon as these words came out, everyone was startled. That's right, why should I feel bad? Why should I be in the wrong? This was the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's birthday banquet. The Wolf King was a peak early-stage star venerate. He also had 8 strong subordinates, all small perfection early-stage star venerates or great perfection early-stage star venerate. Here, the weakest cultivator was a peak major primal core cultivator. Why was he in the wrong? The strong preyed on the weak. Even if the Wolf King scolded a peak major primal core brat to his face, he would have to behave himself and not retort. Xiao Chen sneered in his heart. He saw the changes in everyone's expressions. He stretched out his left hand and instantly formed the Buddhist 7-kill seal. It was like a lotus flower never touching water, or like the sun and moon never hanging in the sky. The instant the hand seal formed, Xiao Chen's heart entered an ethereal state. However, the killing intent hidden in his body was multiplied 7-fold, and it exploded out violently. Xiao. The killing intent that pervaded the air instantly seemed to materialize, causing everyone to have difficulty breathing. A few of the weaker ones trembled as sweat poured out of their foreheads. Their complexions paled to the extreme. Xiao Chen's killing intent was very horrifying in the first place. After it was multiplied 7-fold, how terrifying would it be? This was simply unimaginable. This is a personal grudge. Unrelated people, quickly go away. Xiao Chen said indifferently as he stared at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan. If someone's soul energy reached the level of a holy venerate, they would discover that the killing intent that Xiao Chen gave off was pitch black, like the claws of a monster sweeping through the surroundings. However, Xiao Chen's body gave off a faint light, appearing ethereal. Bang! Right after Xiao Chen spoke, the guests who came felt like they were relieved of a heavy burden. Using all the strength in his body, he smashed the windows one by one and fled as fast as he could. The many guests in the courtyard watched every movement on the top floor. Such a scene immediately caused a huge commotion. What's going on? The people attending the main banquet all flew out. There is killing intent. What a strong killing intent. Could it be that someone is challenging the Wolf King? When the windows shattered, the people below sensed Xiao Chen's killing intent uncontrollably. The noisy birthday banquet immediately fell silent. All the guests put down their wine cups and looked at the top floor in confusion. They did not know what exactly happened. On the top floor, the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's complexion had already turned ashen. However, he did not dare to act rashly. The previously noisy main banquet emptied out in an instant, leaving only his subordinates and himself. The unrelated people were all frightened by Xiao Chen's 7-fold killing intent, not daring to remain. When Xiao Chen revealed that horrifying killing intent, no one dared to doubt Xiao Chen's strength anymore. They were all people who cherished their lives. How could they dare to get involved? Kill him, the Wolf King roared, unable to endure Xiao Chen's killing intent. The people behind him endured the pressure and wanted to charge over. However, this was the opportunity Xiao Chen was waiting for. He was waiting for the 7-fold killing intent to make them irritable and reveal openings in all aspects. Xiao Chen instantly drew the tyrant saber. After completing the starting stance of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique, resolving the mundane condensed an eternal saber light and swept it out. Boom! The moment the saber light appeared, all the might of the 7-kill seal, which had been storing up power for a long time, infused into this saber. The Wolf King's subordinates cried out miserably as they bore the brunt of the attack. The saber light knocked away the roof beams, leaving only Xiao Chen standing upright with his saber and the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, who blocked the saber light. Several of the Wolf King's subordinates blocked in front. The Wolf King dodged the greatest impact of resolving the mundane's 7-fold killing intent and suffered only 30% of its might. Even so, he still sustained significant injuries. The main reason was that Xiao Chen's killing intent was simply too vast. The impact it brought him felt even more terrifying than that of a middle-stage star venerate. Someone really wants to kill the Wolf King. How bold! What a terrifying saber light! Combined with that overwhelming killing intent, he actually managed to force back the Wolf King's bodyguards with one saber strike. Who is this white-robed bladesman? I don't think I've heard of this person in the Grave Sea. The guests who were watching this scene were all shocked and dumbfounded. It was already unexpected that someone dared to cause trouble at the birthday banquet. What was even more unexpected was that it was such a young bladesman. Inside and outside, all the guests in the courtyard stared fixedly at the top floor, completely lost in their own thoughts. The Wolf King wiped off the blood from a corner of his lips. Then, he looked at Xiao Chen and smiled. I once thought about this scene many times. Who would be the first to step forward to challenge me? However, I never expected it to be an arrogant and conceited brat. No matter where you learned the secret technique to make your killing chi so terrifying, you will definitely die today. Today you will die without a doubt. Who do you think you are facing? You are facing the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. It is the entire Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. It is the pack of wolves that have walked through mountains of corpses and seas of blood with me, Jiang Hengchuan. Where is the pack of wolves? Jiang Hengchuan's tone became increasingly agitated, and his voice slowly turned resonant. In the end, it sounded like rumbling thunder, deafening and making everyone's blood surge and their bodies tremble. Whoosh! Many figures soared into the sky from the ground. The members of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group filled the sky, surrounding the entire tall building in 3 layers from the inside and 3 layers from the outside. In that instant, countless eyes stared at Xiao Chen. They were like hungry wolves staring at their prey. Xiao Chen casually looked around. With a rough count, there were at least 1,000 people, all of them elites of the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. Seeing that Xiao Chen did not show any fear on his face, Jiang Hengchuan felt slightly startled. After some thought, he said, "Interesting. Even the savage blood star venerate back then was not this bold, daring to come and kill me alone." "Kill you?" Xiao Chen shook his head and said, "You are overthinking. I only came here to ask for an answer. However, it does not matter now, as you indeed deserve to die." The Wolf King smiled and said, "There are many people in this world who deserve to die. I will die as well, but not now. Today, there will only be one person who deserves to die, and it will be you." The Wolf King's voice suddenly turned cold. As he looked at Xiao Chen, he ordered coldly, "Kill him!" The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's members in the surroundings did not hesitate to launch themselves at Xiao Chen. The ferocious howls of the pack of wolves sounded like a tsunami, changing the color of the sky. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group's members moved out at the same time. Until now, they had never failed. Chapter 1772. The wolves raged. Auras spread out, encasing the entire sky. All the killing intent locked onto Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen squinted and saw saber lights and sword images layered over each other. The mysterious phenomenon of all sorts of martial techniques looked chaotic. In reality, it was very orderly. The Wolf Smoke Pirate Group had more than 1,000 members, split into 10 layers. Each layer had 100 people. 100 was the limit for attacking a single target. Otherwise, adding one more person would be a waste. After a round of attacks, only 100 origin stones would be able to hit Xiao Chen. This was because the Wolf Smoke Pirates already covered Xiao Chen's entire body. If there were more, they would not be able to find a target. If Xiao Chen attacked rashly, it would disrupt the rhythm and send the entire wolf pack into chaos. Without giving Xiao Chen much time to think, the first round of attacks arrived in the blink of an eye. To others, it looked like a boundless wave swallowed up Xiao Chen. They could not see his figure at all. Amid the chaotic, mysterious phenomenon of martial techniques, the sound of weapons clashing rang out continuously. There were also many flickering saber lights. These saber lights were like the most dazzling stars among the stars in the sky. They were exceptionally eye-catching among the various mysterious phenomena. The saber lights flickered so fast that only an afterimage could be seen. The afterimage flashed by the face of the person who attacked, revealing a stern face and black and white hair that fluttered in the wind. Then, it disappeared in an instant. There was no time to look carefully. "It's that white-robed bladesman!" He blocked it. He blocked the first round of attacks. What a fast saber strike! Everyone was startled. Then, they suddenly discovered that Xiao Chen, who was being swallowed up by the surging tide, did not fall. However, he did not fall. Instead, he stubbornly blocked all the attacks, breaking apart every martial technique that came at him. Xiao Chen used the saber in his hand to move at lightning speed, creating an impenetrable screen of sabers. The pirates of the Wolf Smoke pirate group formed groups of 100 people. When the front wave disappeared, the back wave would arrive. Not long after, 10 waves rolled up. Strong winds blew in the surroundings, and the sky changed color as shock waves surged out. The clouds churned at the top of the tall building, forming a strong wind. Amidst the strong winds, thunder and lightning flashed, and the saber light did not stop. The white-robed Xiao Chen held the tyrant saber in his hand as he stood in the center of the storm. His defense was impenetrable. No matter how the pack of wolves roared, how they shouted, how they were filled with murderous intent. Standing in the tall building, it was as still as a pine tree, neither blown down by the wind nor shaken by the rain. The expression of the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, who was watching from a distance, slowly changed. From the initial disdain, it slowly froze. This youth's saber skills have already gone too far. He is now one level higher than the Wolf Smoke pirate group's members. This kind of encirclement is completely ineffective against him. A sharp-eyed captain among the guests said in a deep voice. However, there are still 8 strong generals under the Wolf King that have not appeared yet. They are all early-stage star venerates. Indeed. Furthermore, even if they cannot injure this white-robed bladesman, they will not be able to injure him. But if he wants to break out of this situation, it will be difficult. At the end of the day, this young man is still a little too arrogant. Someone sighed softly. The current situation was very surprising. Even an early-stage star venerate would be defeated in a sorry state when facing the encirclement of 1,000 Wolf Smoke pirate group members. However, not only did Xiao Chen defend, but he also did so in an impenetrable manner, not suffering any injuries at all. This was truly shocking, and admirable. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Just at this moment, 8 strong auras appeared in the courtyard and flew towards the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan. The Wolf King's 8 strong generals are here. There's no more show to watch. This youth will definitely die a miserable death. These people were the 8 generals guarding the ship outside the pirate hall. The pirate ship needed someone to guard it to prevent accidents from happening. After the 8 learned that something happened at the birthday banquet, they did not act rashly. Unexpectedly, the matter escalated. Left with no other choice, the Wolf King summoned all his 8 strong generals. "Greetings, Captain." The 8 people greeted respectfully after landing behind the Wolf King. "What exactly happened? Even we are startled?" Jiang Hengchuan did not say anything. He pointed at the tall building. The 8 generals immediately showed startled expressions, stunned. The Wolf Smoke pirate group's members turned out in full force. To think that there was someone in the grave sea that they could not take down. What exactly was this youth's background? "Captain, there's no rush. We will go and kill this fellow now." The 8 strong generals exchanged glances. They did not want this farce to continue, so they prepared to make a move together. They would instantly resolve this matter, end Xiao Chen, and resume the birthday banquet. However, this was a good idea. Up on the tall building, Xiao Chen sensed the arrival of the 8 strong generals. He raised his eyebrows slightly. They are finally here. Based on the information that Ding Yuan gave him, Xiao Chen already knew about the existence of these 8 people. He also knew that these 8 people posed the greatest danger to him. However, how could Xiao Chen not be prepared? As he looked at the 100 pirates charging at him again, Xiao Chen quickly sheathed his saber and stood alone on the tall building. This is crazy. When the guests below saw this scene, their hearts trembled. This is crazy. Xiao Chen pressed 2 fingers on his right hand to his forehead. Then, his will of soul spread out and merged with the saber intent filling the air. In the next moment, saber hums rang out in the surroundings of the tall building. That sound was not loud, but it clearly reached the depths of everyone's soul. It was like a powerful treasure saber hummed in everyone's mind. That's impossible. Such a scene immediately elicited startled cries from the many star venerate experts. Xiao Chen was a major primal core venerate, yet he managed to merge his saber intent and will of soul. This was a technique that many early-stage star venerate experts could not grasp. Xiao Chen was a peak major primal core cultivator. How did he do it? However, the truth was the truth. It happened just like that. Whoosh! The 2 fingers on Xiao Chen's forehead ferociously swiped forward. The boundless saber intent and will of soul gathered into a resplendent saber light. Only black and white remained in the world. Only that saber light was resplendent, dazzling and dazzling. The first 100 Wolf Smoke pirate group members immediately got chopped in half at the waist. The saber light did not stop, continuing to radiate out. After killing 500 pirate group members, it slowly disappeared. As for the remaining pirate group members, they had already paled in fright as they fled. If they did not flee, only death awaited them. The saber light vanished and the world regained its colors. A gentle breeze blew endlessly around the tall buildings. The various mysterious phenomena and chi waves disappeared. The scene that had been bustling like waves a moment ago instantly became boundlessly quiet. Only the white-clad bladesman remained standing on the tall building, holding his saber. The 8 generals who had rushed over to help were dumbfounded. They had not expected such a situation to happen at all. Earlier, they were still thinking of taking advantage of Xiao Chen dealing with the Wolf Smoke pirate group members to kill Xiao Chen at lightning speed. They had sent voice projections to each other to come up with their plans long ago. However, Xiao Chen only used 1 saber light, just 1 saber light, to completely disrupt their plans. This simply caught them off guard, stupefied. When the guests below saw this scene, they all had the same expression. Their mouths gaped, unable to say anything. Only Jiang Hengchuan roared, "Why are you still not attacking? How long are you going to wait? You are all star venerates. If the 8 of you work together, he will die no matter what." That's right. These words startled everyone out of their reverie. Suddenly, the 8 generals remembered. There was no need to hesitate. Even without the help of the Wolf Smoke pirate group members, the 8 of them could easily kill Xiao Chen. That earlier saber strike clearly could not be executed at any time. Kill! The 8 generals shouted coldly, unleashing their berserk auras. Their wills of soul connected as they charged over. Clouds churned in the sky as the 8 descended towards Xiao Chen. At this moment, it was like the sky above Xiao Chen's head was forced to shrink by a lot. When 8 early-stage star venerate experts worked together, they were indeed extraordinary. However, this aura was much stronger than that of the 1,000 Wolf Smoke pirate group members. Several people sighed in their hearts. This was the accumulations of the Wolf Smoke pirate group. In the Grave Sea, aside from the Wolf Smoke pirate group, who else could have 8 star venerates? No matter how heaven-defying this white-clad bladesman was, only death awaited him today. In the future, this would only make the Wolf Smoke pirate group even more famous. Seeing the 8 star venerates attack, Xiao Chen quickly formed hand seals with his right hand, completing the life bestowal spell in an instant. In the next second, the situation changed. The sky suddenly turned dark. A beam of scarlet light soared into the clouds from behind Xiao Chen, instantly pushing back the area above Xiao Chen's head that had caved in. Back then, Xiao Chen had carved the strongest and scariest existence in the history of the Blue Dragon bloodline, the Blood-Soaked Dragon Emperor. Chapter 1773. The moment the Blood-Soaked Dragon Emperor appeared, Xiao Chen instantly suppressed the other party in terms of aura. The sky above Xiao Chen's head, which had collapsed, rose at a visible pace. The situation reversed. The 8 attacking star venerate experts had their auras forcibly pushed back, only able to break through their defenses. Their originally ferocious auras were suppressed in an instant. The feeling of falling from a high position, the feeling of being at a disadvantage, was not something others could understand. Retreat! 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 Upon seeing the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's grace, the 8 generals immediately cowered in fear. They did not know which expert came, but they were completely stunned and frantically retreated. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor was carved from Xiao Chen's heart and soul. At best, he was only an early-stage star venerate. However, as long as the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor had even a 10,000th of the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's charm, he would be able to suppress these 8 people, not giving them any chance to resist. Fighting 1 against 8 generals, this was the limit of what Xiao Chen could do. Even if it was the Wolf King himself, it would be impossible for him to defeat the 8 great generals on his own. Even if the 8 old star venerate generals were only small perfection early-stage star venerates, when they worked together, their strength was rather terrifying. Objectively speaking, Xiao Chen could not defeat them with his own strength. These 8 star venerates were not ordinary star venerate. Instead, they were capable generals that followed the Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan. These 8 people did not earn the title of generals for nothing. They had earned it by fighting the other pirate groups and the Divine Shield Army. However, they faced the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor, the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor that Xiao Chen used his mind and soul to carve. The 8 generals' auras immediately crumbled, and they were suppressed all the way. To think that the 8 generals could not retaliate at all. Soon, their bodies were riddled with wounds. After about 7 minutes, one of the generals died on the spot. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor chopped the corpse in half with one sword strike. Blood splattered everywhere, stunning and flabbergasting everyone. No one knew that such an expert was hidden by Xiao Chen's side. This is too horrifying. Who is that person? What kind of character is hiding in the grave sea? I have never heard of this white-robed bladesman before. He seems to be related to the Purple Flame sect. He is called Xiao Chen. Something's not right. Look at that blood-robed man. His aura was immense, and all sorts of killing moves were easily executed. He doesn't look like a living person at all. There's no color or spirit in his eyes at all. It's a puppet. Some of the invited guests were experts. They were very knowledgeable and quickly made out what was different about the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor. Stop! The Wolf King, Jiang Hengchuan, appeared stunned. When he saw his 8 fierce generals being beaten to the point where they could not retaliate, he immediately shouted. Xiao Chen said coldly, "Jiang Hengchuan, you are really shameless. Now that you know how to stop, why didn't you help me when the pack of wolves tried to kill me? Back then, when you were toying with the black cutlass, why didn't you stop?" Xiao Chen, don't think that I, Jiang Hengchuan, am afraid of you. Jiang Hengchuan was infuriated by Xiao Chen's words and immediately started cursing. Clang! In response to Jiang Hengchuan, Xiao Chen drew his treasure saber and pointed it at the other party. Xiao Chen's cold face showed no intention of compromising. Jiang Hengchuan, how long are you going to be a tortoise? Since you are not afraid, then come and fight. Since you say that you are not afraid, then come and fight. Xiao Chen used the most decisive method to ruthlessly strike back at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, making him swallow his words, unable to say anything else. The guests were also incredibly shocked. Who could have expected that Xiao Chen would be so stubborn? Who could have imagined that a junior would call the existence that they did not dare to offend a coward in front of everyone? However, now that they thought about it, this Jiang Hengchuan was indeed a coward. From the very start, he never took the initiative to make a move. Jiang Hengchuan cherished his life. Even at the final moment, he still wanted to compromise with Xiao Chen, unwilling to make a move. Now, Shao Chun forced him to the edge of a cliff, not giving him a chance to retreat at all. Many people could not help having other thoughts. It seemed like the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan's doomsday was right before their eyes. What if he really lost? Thinking of this, everyone felt a chill, finding this extremely inconceivable. The matters of the world truly changed in an instant, the universe unfathomable. When the birthday banquet started, it turned out that the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, whom everyone believed to be invincible, fell so easily. Ah! Another blood-curdling scream rang out. Of the 8 great generals, another one had died. Jiang Hengchuan's lips twitched involuntarily as he faced Shao Chun, who pointed his saber at him from the tall building. For the first time, he felt helpless. It's over. It's all over. Even if I make a move and kill this fellow, the Wolf Smoke pirate group will definitely be eliminated from the list after today. As someone in a high position, there were many competitors. Among the guests, there were many who were gloating over the misfortune of others. Even if Jiang Hengchuan managed to kill Shao Chun by luck, others would kick him while he was down. When Shao Chun pointed his saber at him, Jiang Hengchuan knew that he lost. I admit defeat, the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan said helplessly as he looked at Shao Chun. His voice sounded very aged and ancient. If Jiang Hengchuan had another chance, he definitely would not toy with the Black Cutlass, forcing it to the Grave Island Sea region, a forbidden land with a slim chance of survival. Shao Chun stretched out his hand and beckoned. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor turned into an exquisite sculpture and landed in his hand. After sheathing the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor, Shao Chun landed before Jiang Hengchuan and said coldly, "You are rather smart." Bang! Right after Shao Chun spoke, he immediately threw a palm strike, instantly driving 10 cauldron force. This palm strike, which came without any warning, gave off a loud sound. Jiang Hengchuan vomited a mouthful of blood as Shao Chun sent him flying. Whoosh! 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 This action immediately angered several Wolf Smoke pirate group members. They all stood up and glared at Shao Chun in rage. "Don't move." Jiang Hengchuan stood up and wiped the blood off his lip. Then, he raised his hand to stop the Wolf Smoke pirate group members. Bang! What answered Jiang Hengchuan was Shao Chun's second palm strike. When this palm strike landed, it mixed vital qi and veritable essence energy, creating an even greater destructive power. Jiang Hengchuan did not block. He was horrified to discover that even if he did not admit defeat, he would not be able to do so. It seemed that the result was no different. The strength that Shao Chun displayed far surpassed Jiang Hengchuan's expectations. After Jiang Hengchuan went flying for the second time, he was in an even more sorry state. All the bones in his body shattered, and his internal organs ruptured. Jiang Hengchuan vomited a mouthful of blood, which actually contained many shattered internal organs. The surrounding guests all sucked in a breath of cold air in fright at Shao Chun's means. Against the Wolf King, who had already admitted defeat and had taken a big step back, Shao Chun still showed no mercy when he attacked. Shao Chun's decisiveness in killing inspired lingering fear. Bang! Before the Wolf King could get up, Shao Chun sent another palm strike. After 3 palm strikes, Jiang Hengchuan was half dead. Jiang Hengchuan could no longer stand up. The remaining members of the Wolf Smoke pirate group quickly went over to help him up. Seeing Jiang Hengchuan in such a sorry state, none of the many pirates who addressed him as brothers at the birthday banquet were willing to step forward and speak up for him. There are many things that cannot be ended just because you admit defeat. These 3 palm strikes are just interests. If even one person of the Black Cutlass dies, I will come back at any time to take your life. As Shao Chun looked at the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan, there was no sympathy or pity in his eyes. One's path was chosen by oneself. If the Wolf King had only made a deal with the Black Cutlass, Shao Chun would not have such a strong murderous intent. However, this Wolf King was just toying with the Black Cutlass, never thinking of handing the Iron Blood token to the other party. During the main banquet, the Wolf King even mocked the Black Cutlass, saying that it was seeking its own death and could not blame others. Shao Chen, don't go overboard. My captain already admitted defeat. What else do you want? Upon hearing the threat in Shao Chen's words, the pirates all looked at Shao Chen with hostile gazes, feeling aggrieved. What are you afraid of? At worst, we will just fight it out with him, a life and death struggle. Jiang Hengchuan coughed intensely and said, All of you, shut up. Fourth brother, hand the iron blood token to young Master Shao. A life and death struggle? That was easy to say. Now Jiang Hengchuan finally understood. Shao Chen came prepared, one trap after another. The other party had calculated all of Jiang Hengchuan's reactions. However, Jiang Hengchuan did not know anything about Shao Chen. It was impossible for them to fight to the death. They would only lose their lives in vain. One of the 8 generals showed an unresigned expression. However, he still took out the iron blood token and handed it to Shao Chen. Shao Chen received the iron blood token and swept his gaze over the surrounding guests. Then, he said, Only I can take his life. Upon hearing Shao Chen's words, Jiang Hengchuan heaved a sigh of relief. He knew that although the Wolf Smoke pirate group was finished, the lives of his remaining brothers were preserved. Chapter 1774. As Shao Chen toyed with the iron blood token in his hand, he gave the Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan a deep look. Good luck. Many thanks, the Wolf King said reluctantly as he performed a cupped fist salute. Whoosh! Right after speaking, Shao Chen left the courtyard with a few flashes, heading back to his inn. Dressed in white, Shao Chen stood out on the street. However, he appeared calm and unruffled, showing a calm expression without any fluctuations. He did not look like the tyrannical white-robed bladesman who caused a huge commotion at the Wolf King's birthday banquet earlier. When Shao Chen blended into the crowd, aside from his conspicuous white robes, he did not look much different. When Shao Chen returned to the inn, he was surprised to discover that his tea was still there. The flame on the tea set left behind by the waiter had not gone out, and the temperature had not decreased. However, the waiter had already gone to entertain other guests. Shao Chen sat down and looked at the teacup. The white thyme glory tea leaves at the bottom of the teacup had already spread out. However, much time had already passed, and the tea was already cold, no longer steaming. One had to drink tea while it was hot. It could not be warm or cold. Only when the tea was boiling could one taste the best flavor. However, Shao Chen did not mind. He drank the already cold tea and drank it in one gulp. It was slightly bitter, no longer having the original taste of the white thyme glory tea leaves. However, it had a different charm to it, giving Shao Chen a deeper understanding of it after returning from a huge battle. Young master, you are back? The waiter's eyes were sharp. When he discovered Shao Chen, he immediately rushed over. I heard that someone challenged the Wolf King at the Wolf King's birthday banquet and is still fighting intensely. Is that true? The experts of the inn have all rushed over. Unfortunately, I cannot go over. I really want to see who is so bold as to even dare to mock the Wolf King. Shao Chen put down the teacup and said with a smile, far at the horizon, close at hand. The waiter quivered, nearly dropping the teapot in his hand. By the time the waiter recovered his wits, he discovered that Shao Chen had already left. Inside the room, Shao Chen took out the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's statue. If the Wolf King didn't admit defeat, the statue wouldn't last long. Even if the statue could hold on, Shao Chen did not dare to let it continue fighting. Not only did the carving of the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's statue exhaust his mind and essence blood, but it also drained his mind and essence blood. While controlling it, his mental energy was like a flowing river, surging and leaking out continuously. Others only saw the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor killing everywhere. However, they did not see Shao Chen's mental energy drain. He unsheathed his sword and challenged the Wolf King. They seemed crazy, but they wanted to end the battle as soon as possible. They were prepared to die. The person who dared to pull the emperor down from his horse, even if he was willing to be cut into pieces, was exactly what Shao Chun had just done. However, this Wolf King Jiang Hengchuan was indeed smart. He admitted defeat in the face of battle. He had managed to protect most of the Wolf Smoke pirate crew. According to Shao Chen's original plan, he would not leave until he slaughtered the Wolf Smoke pirate group and killed the Wolf King. There was no doubt that as long as he was willing to pay the price, nothing would be a problem. After putting down the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's statue, Shao Chen took out the Iron Blood token. Then, his gaze turned grave. He only hoped that the brothers of the Black Cutlass were safe. If something happened, killing all the people of the Wolf Smoke pirate group would not help. Damn it! The Wolf King is right. What a bunch of fools. Why are we going to the Grave Island Sea region? We have to return alive. I have to give you all a good scolding before I can vent my anger. Shao Chen's right hand trembled as he tightly grasped the Iron Blood token. Even when facing the Wolf King, his eyelids did not twitch. However, at this moment, his hand trembled, feeling extremely powerless. The melancholy of that cup of bitter tea lingered in his mouth, not fading away even now. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. There was still no news of the Black Cutlass. Shao Chen could not wait any longer. He prepared to find a ship and make a trip there. Grave Island Sea region. Not to mention going to the Grave Island Sea region alone without a pirate ship, even going to the periphery was akin to sending oneself to death. However, given the circumstances, Shao Chen felt that he had to go. However, just as Shao Chen was about to leave, he happened to see Luonan, Fei and the others outside the inn. "Captain! Big brother Shao!" When Shao saw Fei and the others saw Shao Chen at the door, they rushed over without caring about their image. They could not believe their eyes, thinking that they were hallucinating. The Iron Hand Yama laughed loudly and gave Shao Chen a bear hug. Only then did Shao Chen believe that they really returned. "You!" Shao Chen counted. Luonan, Fei Elder Tang, Shao Suo, the Iron Hand Yama, and all the old members of the Black Cutlass were present. Fei eyes turned somewhat moist. "Big brother Shao, I thought that I would never see you again." Shao Chen originally wanted to scold this group of people. However, his heart instantly softened and he could not bring himself to do so. He smiled helplessly and said, "Little Fei don't cry. Let's go to my room." After entering Shao Chen's room, Shao So organized his thoughts and said, "After we came out, we heard that Captain defeated the Wolf Smoke pirate group. At that time it was really delightful. To think that you were still worried about us and were definitely waiting for us. We rushed over day and night, practically not resting at all." The Iron Hand Yama sighed and said, "This time, it was really a narrow escape. We nearly could not return. That old bastard nearly caused us to die. Shao Chen, you helped us vent our frustrations. Back then, when that old bastard saw me, he ridiculed all of us for a while." Shao Chen immediately asked the questions that he had buried in his heart when he saw everyone. The group immediately turned silent. After a long time, Elder Tang said, "I am to blame for this. I already know where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is. However, we need the Iron Blood token before we can go to the Forbidden Sea." "So," Fei interrupted, "you cannot blame Elder Tang. At that time, we were thinking that we could wait for Big Brother Shao Chen to go to the Forbidden Sea with him after obtaining the Iron Blood token. However, we could not rely on Big Brother Shao Chen for everything. We felt that we could give it a try." Shao Chen thought to himself, "So, that is the case. It is similar to what I thought. Indeed, the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is in a Forbidden Sea. One can go to the Forbidden Sea only with the Iron Blood token. Fei and the others wanted to give me a surprise. At the same time, they did not want Shao Chen to follow me to the Grave Island Sea. They did not want Shao Chen to share the risk. Shao Chen wanted to blame Shao Chen, but he did not know where to start. However, just at this moment, Xiao Sua's expression suddenly turned somewhat grave. He said, "Young Master Xiao, I have something to tell you." When Xiao Chun saw that the other's expressions were not quite right, his heart sank as he had a bad feeling. "What is it?" "We lost the Scarlet Blood War banner." "Lost it?" Xiao Chen's expression did not change. However, he felt shocked in his heart. The Scarlet Blood War banner was a crucial tool for finding the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure. If the war banner was lost, it meant that the treasure would be gone as well. However, Xiao Chen was very carefree. After his emotions fluctuated for a while, he quickly adjusted himself. If the war banner was lost, then he could only head for the central Great Realm in advance. Should he go directly to the dragon race's territory, or should he go to the Yanwu dynasty or the Tianwu dynasty first and understand the situation in the central Great Realm before going to the dragon race? However, he had to make a decision. "Big brother Xiao Chen, are you not angry?" Fei looked at Xiao Chen somewhat nervously. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and looked at Xiao Sua. "Don't be dispirited. In the end, Xiao Sua was the one who bought the war banner. It is not mine. There is really no need to blame yourself. You being able to return alive is better than anything else. There are many fortuitous encounters in the world, but we only have one life. I will say this very seriously, don't take such risks in the future." Xiao Chen's words came from the bottom of his heart. His sincerity warmed Fei and the others. After hesitating for a while, the Iron Hand Yama said, "Actually, we might not have lost it. Given my understanding of that person, I feel that he will return the Iron Blood War banner in the end and not snatch our things." When Xiao Chen heard that, he felt slightly stunned. There is more to this than meets the eye? What exactly is going on? After some thought, the Iron Hand Yama said, "Didn't I say earlier that we nearly could not return? Someone saved us in the Grave Island Sea region. At that time, Xiao Sua was using the Iron Blood War banner to fight. That is where the problem lies. After we were rescued, that person suddenly said that he wanted to borrow the Iron Blood War banner to take a look and that he would return it to us the next time we meet. The other party is very strong, and his pirate group is even stronger. Although he said he wanted to borrow it, there was no way to refuse." Chapter 1775. The other party was very strong? These words coming out of the Iron Hand Yama's mouth were somewhat unusual. After all, he had once been a member of the Savage Blood Pirate Group. What pirate crew? Could it be stronger than the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group? Xiao Chen asked in confusion. Fei Luo Nan and the others nodded slightly, indicating that it was indeed true. The Iron Hand Yama said, "It's the Iron Horn Pirate Group. In the past, there were 3 pirate groups in the Grave Sea that obtained the Iron Blood token. One was the Savage Blood Pirate Group, which is now the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group. The last one is the Iron Horn Pirate Group." Iron Horn Pirate Group? When Xiao Chen heard that, he felt slightly startled. He seemed to have heard Ding Yuan say that the Grave Sea Pirate Alliance had indeed sent out 3 Iron Blood tokens. At that time, he only knew that Savage Blood and Wolf Smoke had obtained them, but he did not ask who had obtained the remaining Iron Blood token. However, this Iron Horn Pirate Group went to the Forbidden Sea long ago and has not returned to the Grave Sea for more than 20 years already. I've never seen the Iron Horn Pirate Group before. I've only heard about some of their deeds. They were the overlords of the Grave Sea many years ago. Then, they went to the Forbidden Sea. This time, they are already a 6-star pirate group. A 6-star pirate group would have almost no hope of snatching back the Scarlet Blood banner. Somewhat ashamed, Xiao Sua said, "Leader, I'm sorry. If only I had not used the Scarlet Blood War banner back then. Otherwise, he would not have borrowed it." Xiao Chen comforted him, "Don't say that. It's enough that you're alive. If you did not use the Scarlet Blood War banner, you would have been wiped out long ago. We won't be able to last until the Iron Horn Pirate Group arrives." Xiao Chen did not have much hatred for the Iron Horn pirate group. It was natural for pirates to rob others. The other party was already very benevolent by not making things difficult for the Black Cutlass out of consideration for their old friendship. If Xiao Chen was ruthless and did not help, he would still be able to obtain the Scarlet Blood War banner. "Let's call it a day. How's the ship?" Xiao Chen asked. He was more concerned about whether the Black Cutlass was damaged or not. "The ship is fine. We just need to repair it a little. This time we have gained something." He had found 8 stalks of ghost cloud grass and other natural treasures. "It is enough to turn the Black Cutlass into a 5-star pirate ship," Xiao Suo said excitedly as he perked up a little when he mentioned the pirate ship. Bang! Bang! At this moment, someone knocked on the door. It was the waiter who had come to look for Xiao Chen. "Young master, someone just delivered a storage ring and mentioned that it was for you." He even said something about congratulating the people of the Black Cutlass for returning safely. While the others were at a loss, Xiao Chen guessed. "It is a gift sent by Jiang Hengchuan as an apology. You may leave. Just say that I have accepted the gift." Luo Nan and the others exchanged glances, finding this hard to imagine. The Wolf King who had made things difficult for them 3 months ago was now apologizing to them. The Iron Hand Yama carefully sized up Xiao Chen. Only then did he feel shocked to discover that Xiao Chen's aura was no longer the same as before. Compared to 2 years ago, he was many times stronger. It had reached a level that even Xiao Chen could not see through. After all, he had broken through the bottleneck of Star Venerate in the past 2 years. "Captain, did you really defeat the Wolf Smoke pirate group by yourself?" Even now, Xiao Suo still did not believe it. This was simply too surreal. Xiao Chen retorted casually, "Could it be fake?" After saying that, Xiao Chen sent his spiritual sense into the storage ring. After a while, he withdrew his spiritual sense. Then, he revealed a smile and said, "This Wolf King is really generous. He probably sent half of the birthday gift back then." Spending money to buy one's life was nothing more than this. Xiao Chen handed the storage ring to Xiao Suo. "Then," he said, "I'll leave the spirit jades and the birthday gift to you. Make the Black Cutlass a peak 5-star pirate ship in the shortest time possible." "All right. Leave this matter to me," the Iron Hand Yama said. "I have some connections with the pirate hall here. I can use them and be of some help." Xiao Chen nodded and said, "In that case, I'll leave this matter to the 2 of you." Elder Tang was stunned. Then, he looked at Xiao Chen and said, "Young Master Xiao, you do not intend to give up on the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure?" Xiao Chen raised his eyebrows. "Why should I give up? We put in so much effort. We have to fight for it, right? Giving up like this is not my style." Elder Tang immediately said excitedly, "That's good. I thought that young Master Xiao would directly give up." Xiao Chen smiled faintly and said, "Come, I'll go take a look first. Let's meet up on the Black Cutlass." "Let's go." Everyone showed smiles on their faces as they left the inn and headed for the port. Along the way, the group spoke about their experiences after they parted. 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. They still remembered the scene of their parting as if it was right before their eyes. In the blink of an eye, 2 years had passed. During these 2 years, Xiao Chen had grown a lot. His strength was no longer the same as before. However, the people of the Black Cutlass were no weaker either. The Iron Hand Yama successfully broke through to Star Venerate. Now, his cultivation was stable, and his strength steadily increased. When the Black Cutlass was a peak major primal core cultivator, he was already known as unrivaled within the same cultivation realm. This breakthrough was even more incredible. If not for the Wolf Smoke Pirate Group having 8 Star Venerates and the Wolf King being a peak early-stage Star Venerate, the Iron Hand Yama would not care about them. The Iron Hand Yama would not care about a regular 5-star pirate captain at all. The couple, Luo Nan and Fei Er, also had extraordinary fortuitous encounters. Under the cleansing of Xiao Chen's life juice source, they had already advanced to Major Primal Corps Venerate. Although their improvement was nothing compared to that of the disciples of rank 4 sects, it was still very rare. With the Two's talent, it was truly rare for them to make such improvements. Elder Tang's cultivation did not improve much. However, his beast-taming skills were even more exquisite and strong. On the other hand, Xiao Sua's improvement was rather startling. The life juice source seemed to have completely unleashed his potential. Now, Xiao Sua had already reached peak Major Primal Core. In terms of cultivation, he was practically the same as Xiao Chun. After about 7 minutes, the group arrived at the Black Cutlass. The appearance of the Black Cutlass had not changed much. When Xiao Chun saw it, he immediately felt a sense of familiarity. After entering the lower level, the group arrived before the immemorial demon soul formation that he cared about the most. At the core of the formation, the Yazi beast carved on the formation plate already had 3.5 stars lit up. This is the greatest trump card of our Black Cutlass. Once the Yazi beast demon soul is released, it is an existence equal to a middle stage star venerate. If not for the Yazi beast demon soul, we would not dare to barge into the Grave Island Sea region. Elder Tang sighed. Then, he continued, unfortunately, the trouble we ran into was too big. What trouble? We ran into a flock of underworld ghost birds. They were only middle-stage star venerates, but their abilities were too strange. They could make their bodies immaterial. The Yazi beast demon soul was outnumbered and killed in the end. If not for the Iron Horn pirate group's captain making a move, it would have been destroyed on the spot. Xiao Chun exclaimed in shock. Is that Iron Horn pirate group's captain really that strong? The Iron Hand Yama nodded and said, he gave me the feeling that he should be a late-stage star venerate. Elder Tang and the others could not make out the captain's strength at all. Late-stage star venerate? That was already an extremely horrifying cultivation realm. Right now, Xiao Chun could barely protect himself against a middle-stage star venerate. If he clashed head-on, he would lose in less than 100 moves. After advancing to star venerate, with every increase in cultivation realm, one's strength would undergo a tremendous change. This would result in a qualitative leap. The difference between early stage and middle stage was like heaven and earth. Without using his trump cards, Xiao Chen's current strength should be on par with that peak early stage star venerate Wolf King. He would not be able to truly contend with a middle stage star venerate, much less a late stage star venerate. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. It looks like I need to break through to star venerate before going to the Forbidden Sea. Right now, he was only a step away from the Cloud Sea realm and could advance at any time. Xiao Chen already condensed the will of soul. He did not face any bottlenecks when advancing to the Cloud Sea realm. It was just a matter of time. After advancing to star venerate, Xiao Chen could formally cultivate soul energy. He could also cultivate the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique's third move, entering hell. He could use this opportunity to break through to the 11th layer of the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation and start cultivating the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art's 4th layer. Xiao Chun urgently needed to raise his many cultivation techniques and martial techniques to star venerate before they could improve. Just at this moment, someone suddenly rushed in at the entrance to the next floor in a fluster. Captain, it's bad. The Iron Horn pirate group is here again. Chapter 1776. Come again? Xiao Sua and the others immediately looked at Xiao Chen. Clearly, they wanted Xiao Chen to make the decision. Xiao Chen shifted his gaze to the Iron Hand Yama and asked, Old Yama, what do you think of the Iron Horn pirate group's captain? After thinking for a while, the Iron Hand Yama replied, he is not like a regular pirate. He has a benevolent heart. I feel that he is here to return the Scarlet Blood War banner. After a pause, the Iron Hand Yama continued, however, I also feel that something is wrong. If he is truly magnanimous, he would not be willing to lend us the Scarlet Blood War banner. There is no need for them to borrow our Scarlet Blood War banner. Back then, while the Iron Hand Yama said to lend it, there was actually no reason not to give it. Xiao Chun said indifferently, "Let's meet him." The bow of the ship welcomed the guests. A total of 4 or 5 people from the Iron Horn pirate group came. There were no other attendants. Everything was simple and did not look imposing. The leader was a middle-aged man in black captain's uniform. He had regular facial features and a squarish face, looking very imposing. Xiao Chun quickly stepped forward and performed a cupped fist salute. "Greetings, Iron Horn Pirate Group's captain. I have long heard of your great name." The middle-aged man carefully sized up Xiao Chun. Then, he smiled and said, "My name is Yenji. I am a few years older than you, so you can just address me as Big Brother Yen. Actually, we have met before." Xiao Chun found this strange, so he asked, "Met before?" He could not remember when he had met such a person. Xiao Chun had always been confident in his memory. It was impossible for him to not have any impression of someone he had met before. "Young Master Xiao, do you remember this old man?" An old man walked out from behind Yenji and asked with a smile as he looked at Xiao Chun. "It's you." This person was the stall owner who sold the dragon shadow condor wing bone to Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun had a deep memory of this person. Back then, this person even recommended a drop of dragon shadow condor essence blood to Xiao Chun. At that time, Xiao Chun had found it strange that Xiao Chun had killed a dragon shadow condor. It turned out that this person was from the Iron Horn Pirate Group. No wonder. That explained everything. It looks like young Master Xiao still remembers this old man. "Back then, when you crossed the grave sea in a hurry, my captain saw you at the bow of the ship. You left a deep impression on me, and I still remember it clearly," the old man explained with a grin. Xiao Chun suddenly understood and said, "So that's how it is. Big Brother Yen, please come inside. I still haven't properly thanked you for saving my friends and brothers." Yenji waved his hand in refusal and said, "It's just a small matter, just something that happened in passing. It's not worth mentioning. I didn't come here for this." Here. Right after Yenji spoke, he tossed out the Scarlet Blood War banner. Xiao Chun stretched out his hand and gently caught it. Buzz! The war banner instantly unfurled, flapping loudly in the wind. A feeling of a bloodline connection came from the Scarlet Blood War banner. Back then, he had held the war flag and fought against the powerhouses of the Divine Shield Legion. After obtaining the Scarlet Blood War banner's acknowledgement, although the war banner had not recognized him as its master yet, this feeling of being connected by blood, like an arm, continued. A bleak and domineering aura emanated from Xiao Chun's body. The flapping war banners made the surrounding wind even louder. A strong wind blew on the bow of the warship, causing the clouds in the surroundings to tremble slightly. It conjured a strange phenomenon of fighting for supremacy and a long flag in the wind. Yenji chanted softly, "My name is Qi Shui. I have a body of scarlet iron, and my blood is burning hot. I have been up and down for half of my life, wandering from place to place. I have been invincible for half of my life, and I have been fearless. My body is like a sword, unyielding and unyielding. My heart is like the sun and moon, shining for 10,000 years. My body is like a mountain, spanning tens of thousands of miles. My eyes are like the stars, the sky is dark. I cover the sky with one hand and proclaim myself an emperor with the other." As the Scarlet Blood Pirate King spoke his last words, the Scarlet Blood War banner burned with a faint scarlet flame, looking even more tyrannical than before. "Pa pa pa!" Yenji clapped his hands and praised, "What a great Scarlet Blood Pirate King! Even after his death, his will is still so strong." Thinking back to his life, it was truly admirable and filled with emotions. Young Master Xiao is truly a young hero. To think that you managed to obtain the acknowledgement of the Scarlet Blood War banner. This Yen also admires you. This mysterious phenomenon happened in the time it took for Xiao Chun to take a breath. It was purely something that happened automatically after Yen Zhe received the war banner. With a gentle wave, Shao Chun put away the war banner. Without changing his expression, he said, "Big Brother Yen, you even returned a treasure like the Scarlet Blood war banner. This also makes Shao Chun feel admiration." "You are too polite." Yen Zhe smiled faintly and did not deny it. "Goodbye then. I have an appointment with the Pirate Hall's Hall Master, so I will not disturb you any longer." Shao Chun personally sent Yen Zhe off. As he watched the other party leave, a contemplative light flickered in his eyes. This Yen Zhe really has the air of a major character. To think that he really returned the Scarlet Blood war banner. This is truly unexpected, the Iron Hand Yama said somewhat ruefully. Xiao Sa's lips twitched as he said, "You fellow, didn't you say that this person would return it? It turns out that you were just consoling me." The Iron Hand Yama smiled and said, "It was just a feeling. Who would not be tempted by a treasure like the Scarlet Blood war banner? Even I would be tempted. I can only say that I ran into a good person this time." "Big Brother Xiao, why aren't you saying anything?" Shao Qin recovered his wits and smiled. "I was wondering when he would return." "Ah." The others were shocked. Would he return? Shao Chen's first feeling was that this Yen Zhe was not that simple. However, Shao Chen could not figure out Yen Zhe's character for now. After sending the Black Scimitar to be modified, Shao Chen and the other members of the Black Scimitar rented a courtyard in the Pirate Hall. Inside the cultivation room, Shao Chen thought hard. In the end, he gave up on advancing to Star Venerate. He needed a turning point to break through. Such a breakthrough was simply too casual. Although Shao Chen was currently at peak Major Primal Core realm, his various aspects were still very malleable. There was no rush to break through. The modification of the Black Scimitar took half a month, using up 10 million Spirit Jade. Most of the Spirit Jades came from the Wolf King's compensation. Shao Chen did not spend much himself. The Black Scimitar was already a peak 5-star weapon. Furthermore, with the immemorial Demon Soul formation, the Black Scimitar could rival a regular meteor pirate ship. For half a month, Shao Chen used it all to temper his saber technique. After obtaining the starting stance of the Mahamaya Abstinence Violation saber technique, Shao Chen planned to comprehend a saber technique from it. Just like Zhen Yuan's Azura Hell back then, breaking the mundane and resolving the mundane ultimately chose to use breaking the mundane as the foundation. Shao Chen would create a saber technique that belonged to him around it. This saber technique had a beautiful name, Dreamlike Mundane World. This time, from the moment Shao Chen created this saber technique, he infused his great Tao energy and soul energy into it. This was very difficult and also the most challenging. After half a month, Shao Chen had not comprehended a single move. He only had a vague method and a general feeling. Entering a dream with the saber, using a dream as a saber. After half a month, Shao Chen was about to go on a long journey, using the Iron Blood token to head to a forbidden sea. Yen Zhe arrived. "Haha. Young Master Shao, after not seeing you for a few days, your air has changed again. This is truly admirable." Yen Zhe came alone, without any attendants or subordinates, appearing very casual. It seemed like this was the case. Whims come when whims come. Shao Chen smiled and said, "Big Brother Yen is too polite. You came at the right time. If you had come one day later, I would have been leaving the Grave Sea." "Leaving the Grave Sea?" Yen Zhe appeared slightly startled. "Are you going to the ash-gray sea of the 7 great forbidden seas?" Shao Chen nodded. "Yes, the ash-gray sea. According to Elder Tang's deduction, the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure was in the ash-gray sea of the 7 great forbidden seas." "It looks like Big Brother Yen knows where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is as well," Shao Chen asked casually. Yen Zhe was rather straightforward. He said softly, "I was in the ash-gray sea for 30 years and saw the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's last words. With a little deduction, I figured out where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure is. That place is called Myriad Star Mountain. a famous land of fortuitous encounters in the ash-gray sea. In the past, rumor had it that it was the remnant of an ancient sect. Unexpectedly, it was where the Scarlet Blood Pirate King left his treasure. Many rank 6 sects use that place as a dangerous land for experiential training for their disciples. Occasionally, the elders of the large sects might even personally charge over. Shao Qin smiled calmly and said, "It looks like Big Brother Yen understands this myriad star mountain very well. Naturally. After being in the ash-gray sea for 30 years, I know these things. If you need help, you can come and look for me at any time." Yanjia took out a jade strip and handed it to Shao Qin. "Then," he said, "this jade strip contains my will of soul. If you want to contact me, you just need to use your soul energy to activate the jade strip." Yanjia was very generous. After leaving behind the jade strip, he left again. Chapter 1777. As Shao Qin held the jade strip and looked at Yanjia's back, he entered deep thought. Luonan, who was at the side, whispered, "This Senior Yen is really magnanimous. To think that the Myriad Star Mountain is such a dangerous place. Should we invite him to come with us?" Xiao Suo said seriously, "So, the Myriad Star Mountain is such a place. Many rank 6 sects use it for experiential training. It is somewhat hard to imagine." Sects were categorized into rank. Rank 7 was the highest. Above that were the various holy lands, the transcendent factions that did not leave the mundane world. A 6th-grade sect was already a bona fide supergiant. An elder of a rank 6 sect could easily flatten the entire grave sea without any effort. Xiao Suo's worry was not without reason. Shao Qin had interacted with rank 5 sects before. In Dragon Flame City, he had fought with the many rank 5 sect disciples of the Yenwu dynasty. He had even fought with the true inheritors. All of them lost to him. The rank 6 sect disciples might be strong, but they would not be that strong. Shao Qin did not fear them. What he feared were the rank 6 sect elders. If he ran into them, he would have no chance of victory. Shao Qin looked at the Iron Hand Yama and asked, "Old Yama, what do you think?" After thinking for a while, the Iron Hand Yama said with some conflict, "There is no way to ask for help. Our strength is not equal. We cannot work together unless we give up most of the benefit. In any case, I do not believe that this Yanjia will really help us at all costs after just a few meetings." Elder Tang interjected, "The Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove must be incredibly vast. Even if we only take 1% of it, we will still be able to gain a lot and obtain significant fortuitous encounters. However what?" the Iron Hand Yama asked. Elder Tang hesitated for a while before saying, "However, what if the other party burns the bridge after crossing it and does not give us even 1%? We will not have the strength to deal with him." "That can't be. I don't think that Senior Yen is that kind of person. If he were, he would not have saved us the first time we met." "The first time we met did not involve any major benefit. It is hard to say what happens next." Everyone had their own opinions and the discussion went on endlessly. The Iron Hand Yama, Elder Tang, and the others split into 2 factions. These 2 veterans did not believe in the so-called good things in the world. Everything was possible when it came to benefit. Luonan, Fei and Xiao Suo felt that they could trust Yanjia, so they invited him to Myriad Star Mountain. "Young Master Xiao, what do you think?" Only then did the others remember that Shao Qin hadn't spoken a word, so they hurriedly looked at him. Shao Qin's eyes were solemn as he said, "This person is not normal." "What?" It was fine if he didn't speak, but the moment he did, Shao Qin's words were shocking, causing everyone to be extremely surprised. "Say, who can remain so calm after hearing about the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure? Calm and unruffled, without the slightest hint of agitation or excitement. Is there such a person?" Shao Qin's question immediately caused the Iron Hand Yama, Xiao Suo, and the others to exchange glances. Naturally, there are such people. Once their strength reaches a certain level, they will not care about the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasures. However, what does he count for? He is just a late-stage star venerate. How can he be so calm? Fei Er's expression changed slightly, and she asked softly, "Then he was pretending?" Xiao Chun nodded silently. "This person is very scary, too shrewd and scheming. He knows our every move like the back of his hand. Of all times, he came just as we were about to leave, coincidentally appearing. After that, he inadvertently told us how dangerous the Myriad Star Mountain is and what kind of factions surround it. He clearly wants to explore the Myriad Star Mountain with us. However, he is trying to scare us off, wanting us to go and beg him ourselves." The expressions of Luo Nan, Fei Er, and Xiao Suo immediately changed. They thought about it. Yenja said that that place was too dangerous, so they wanted to invite him to explore the Myriad Star Mountain with them. They had fallen for his trap and scheme. Xiao Suo thought hard and said, "However, I can't figure out why he thinks so highly of us. Given his strength, he actually does not need to care too much about us. Right now, even if everyone on the warship worked together, they would not be a match for him. At best, Xiao Chun could barely protect himself and flee from him. To them, a late-stage star venerate was already an extremely terrifying existence." Whoosh! Xiao Chun stretched out his hand and summoned out the Scarlet Blood War banner. Perhaps it is because of this. Back then, when Xiao Chun first met Yenja, he felt that the other party was testing him. This was because Yenja could not obtain the Scarlet Blood War banner's recognition. He could only use the Scarlet Blood War banner as a weapon. Given that, although Yenja had the Scarlet Blood War banner, it would not be of much use in the treasure trove. That day, when the other party saw the war banner in Xiao Chen's hand, he instantly unfurled it and triggered a mysterious phenomenon. Xiao Chun had guessed that the other party would come again. If Xiao Chun could not obtain the Scarlet Blood War banner's recognition, the other party would definitely snatch it back. Upon hearing Xiao Chen's explanation, Luo Nan, Fei Er, and the others felt their hair stand on end. The Iron Hand Yama was rather normal. Before benefits, how could he have any poise or emotions? After fighting in the ash-gray sea for so many years, if he were really so benevolent, he would have been eaten up long ago. If he was really so benevolent, I'm afraid he would have been eaten long ago and wouldn't have been able to hold his current position. What should we do? For a moment, the group found themselves in a dilemma, unable to make up their minds. After being schemed against by such a strong enemy, every step they took felt like there was a sword at their backs, like they could fall into the deep abyss at any moment. Xiao Chun was rather calm. "We'll beat them at their own game." On the other side, after Yenja returned to his residence, the core members of the Iron Horn pirate group started asking questions. After hearing Yenja's explanation, they all revealed confused and surprised expressions. "Captain, are we just going to let them go like that?" "Indeed. That concerns the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure." The Scarlet Blood Pirate King was a legendary pirate king. It is hard to imagine how vast the treasure he left behind is. If we can obtain it, it might be possible for the Iron Horn pirate group to become a legend. The few subordinates were incredibly excited, and some were even more anxious. They immediately asked for permission to capture Xiao Chen and the others. Yenja smiled faintly. "There are 3 strategies. The best strategy, the middle strategy, and the worst strategy. Your method of using brute force is the worst strategy of all. How can that Xiao Chen submit so easily? Even if you can use his friends to threaten him, it will be hard to guarantee that he will fight to the death. At that time, the losses outweigh the gains, and the losses will be even greater. But we can't just let them go like that, right?" The old man who sold the dragon Shadow Condor wing bone to Xiao Chen said, feeling confused. Yenja was very confident. He smiled unhurriedly and said, "He will come back and look for me in less than 2 hours. What if they really leave?" Someone asked, still feeling dissatisfied. Yenja replied indifferently, I have my own backup plans. The ash-gray sea is not a peaceful place. I will make them suffer a little, and they will still take the initiative to come and look for me. The best way to manage people is to attack their minds. I want them to work for me wholeheartedly and even feel grateful to me. After a while, someone came to report that Xiao Chen sought an audience. Yenja revealed a faint smile. The core members of the Iron Horn pirate group immediately felt that their captain was unfathomable and had great foresight. Captain is truly a godly person. Every step that Xiao Chen takes is within Captain's calculations. Indeed, it is as Captain said. He really came. Yenja waved his hand and said, Don't give the game away. Come with me to meet him. In the hall, Yenja received Xiao Chen seriously. Young Master Xiao, what brings you here? Xiao Chen pretended to think for a while. Then, he said somewhat embarrassedly, I would like to invite Big Brother Yen to come with me to the Myriad Star Mountain and take care of it. Of course, if there are any gains, I will definitely thank you generously. Yenja revealed a troubled expression as he said, I'm afraid that I cannot do so even though I have the heart. Xiao Chen asked curiously, why? Yenja explained, I will not be able to leave the Grave Sea for the next half-month. I still have many old friends that I have yet to meet. Once I leave the Grave Sea this time, I will probably not come back again. I really do not want to waste this opportunity. Xiao Chen felt surprised, but he could not force the issue. After chatting for a while, he took his leave. Captain, he already delivered himself to us. Why did you not agree? After Xiao Chen left, the others in the hall revealed confused expressions once more. Yenja said indifferently, Don't worry. Everything is under control. It is hard to guarantee that he is not here to test us. Firstly, my answer can dispel his suspicions. Secondly, if I casually agree, it will be hard for him to understand my importance. After he suffers, I will send him charcoal in his hour of need. Only then will he truly be grateful to you. Yenja's words immediately won the admiration of Yenja's subordinates. They simply did not expect their captain to be so scheming. Outside the courtyard, Xiao Chen shook his head and smiled bitterly before leaving. You already saw through me, yet you are still acting. In that case, I will continue acting with you.